Hello and welcome. This is Grant Hughes of Grant Hughes Investigates on YouTube. This channel evaluates all aspects of true crime. As you are aware, videos and live streams in this genre often discuss elements of crime that may be disturbing to some viewers. If necessary, take the precautions needed to avoid these feelings. Factual information related to cases is the key to fostering rational true crime discussions. Fortunately, you will find that here. Please hit the like button only once, share the video, and subscribe if you like my content. Thank you very much for watching.
Correct.
Huh? It's a house!
There's mosquitoes the size of bald eagles in that dadgum swamp.
All right. What's going on, freaks? And thanks, I'm a gal, yo. Yeah. Thanks for gifting the 10 memberships. What a great way to start a show off. Thank you. We'll have to get back to Charlie Kirk pretty soon. I always feel like I wish we had it where people were here asking questions and talking about it. But it seems like whenever we do it, it's just, I don't know. I wish there was more conversation. I'd like to be able to convince more people that, all this conspiracy stuff is just total nonsense. I mean, Candace Owens and all of her, just every day it's another, wink, wink. She looks at it's the way she looks and the way she's commenting. It's really obvious that she's accusing people. But she tries to word it like she asks a question, why did they go in there at that time? I mean, and then the other person did that. I mean, I'm just asking questions. Yeah, no, that's not happening. You're accusing people directly. Yeah, so there's been some activity in the Summer Wells case. I thought we might just have to start over on that one pretty soon. Go over from the beginning and just sort of see how everything kind of fits together now. Might be pretty interesting. But what would be great is if tonight on the show we don't have a problem reaching the goal. Yesterday was a absolute struggle again. It'd be kind of nice to have a night where we're just kind of getting there without any effort at all. If you know what I'm saying. Like I don't have to ask. Now they were saying like there's people in there that think you work for the feds if you think Tyler Robinson did it in that case. Like if somehow you think that Tyler Robinson's the killer, you work for the feds. No, well, I mean, you're probably more like them because they have brains that work, and that's sort of like what I would say. I don't even know why people ask, so do you still think it's Tyler Robinson? To people. Now, Paramount Tactical is always more, diplomatic. Like he'll say, I'm still open-minded about it, but that's who I'm leaning towards now. It's like, come on. Even he knows for certain that the killer is Tyler Robinson. There isn't, but he knows it is. He says that. He actually says, I think that's who it is. I mean, the thing is for me, I don't mind having things be more open, like when somebody says something, I look at it, but I can almost immediately discount it because it doesn't make sense. I don't need to spend a whole bunch of time. You just you have tunnel vision. I don't have tunnel vision. The evidence in the case matches exactly the information that we've seen, and it's Tyler Robinson. There isn't another option. There isn't some. If you give me something that's just as plausible without something made up, I'll go, well, that's pretty interesting, and look at it. There isn't anything like that. In that case, there's nothing. Hold on. All right. I mean, I don't know how I personally, I've covered the Charlie Kirk case as good as anybody can possibly cover a case. And it's all locked in. I've been there. I walked all the routes. I'm the one that figured out that, you know, he's walking at 10:10 in the pink shirt, not 8:30, not 8 or 8:08 or whatever the hell it was Candace said. I got the extra surveillance footage that was out there. I walked, you know, again, the whole route. I'm the one that filmed the handprints on the roof up there. I showed everything I can show. You know, I've gone over the documents a million times, and it just is what it is, you know? It is what it is. I'm not sure what... I mean, it seems like the only thing that's sort of valuable now is just sitting there debunking. Hey, thanks, Wild Bill Wassman. Yeah. All right, anyways, let's go over to... So you guys remember the Summer Wells case? Does anybody in here not remember that at all? Now let's hit that like button, you guys. I mean, let's get some support going for the channel. You know, even if it's just liking the button, hitting the like button, for God's sake. It's just like I do a 3-hour show, and when the show's over, there's 120 likes. It's like, could you at least do that? I know you're sitting. A lot of people watching are sitting through, and they're not supporting the channel financially. So could you at least hit the freaking like button? It's that simple. It's crazy. Now what? Daz Larson. Let's see. Waxman. No, it's Wassman, not Waxman. Hit the like button there, Daz Larson. Go ahead, hit it. I remember some of it. Could use a... Yeah, I was just... I'm going to have to just do it by memory. Or I guess what we could do is there a Wikipedia on it? There's gotta be. No. No, wait, yeah, there is. No, wait, that's not it. Huh, nobody has one out there. It's pretty weird. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and block Daz Larson. See you later, Daz. Whatever the hell your name is. Alright, let's see. Summer saying Erica will appear on Megyn Kelly's final tour. Right. Okay, well, I was just looking at something. Hold on. Alright. So, I guess right here it says on June 15th, 2021, Summer Wells was first reported missing around 6:30 p.m. Searchers combed the area. This is in Tennessee, and it's like, I mean, it's just kind of in this crazy little area here on Ben Hill Road, right at the top of this mountain, basically. And that was the property of Don Wells and his wife at the time. So, first, let me turn down this audio, it's too loud. At 12:07 a.m. on June 16th, an endangered child alert was issued. And at 1 p.m. that same day, it was upgraded to an Amber Alert. I'm not sure how, since they didn't have a vehicle, but on June 25th, investigators asked for help in finding a red Tacoma truck that might be a witness in the case. Police have not said if that witness was ever located. 2 days later, the search for Wells was scaled back. The Tennessee Bureau of Investigation told reporters they had over 500 leads in the case to this point. And I just found I have a whole bunch of folders that I found. Let's see. Yeah, I mean, so I have these all the way back on June 17th, 2021. So really, like, close to like the next day, you know. Like, I mean, there's a video of her right there, or an image of her. You know, I guess this are people looking around. There's an actual image from above it. Yeah, and here's those are pictures of her right there. I remember that. People were like, the milk was cold and because the milk was here, somebody literally said, this is a picture of her in the back of a car just before going missing. And they said that she had hypothermia because her head was on some milk. It was the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. And that's her in the back there. Now, it's sort of interesting looking back at those pictures.
A lot.
And that's the mom.
I know she didn't walk away from this.
Yeah, it'd be cool. I've got it interesting to go back over that stuff again. Wouldn't it? It's been a long time. But anyways, it goes on. It says, in October, Summer's father, Don, was arrested for a DUI. February 4th, 2022, marked Summer's 6th birthday. So I guess she was 5 when she went missing. In March of that same year, investigators told us the Wells family is no longer cooperating with the investigation. June 15th marked the 1-year mark since Summer's disappearance. Yeah, I mean, that's not the greatest timeline I've ever seen. But let's see. They were on that same day, they were right over here swimming. There's even a video of her swimming in this water right here with some people. I stabilized that video because it was all over the place. And she's swimming there, and then there's just various different spots where they went and got some food. I mean, it's pretty involved timeline. I think earlier they stopped by. They brought, I think it was just a friend of the family, a kid, with them and stopped by his house. He came with them, and then he was dropped off later. But they got some, food and milk and whatnot, and then drove it home. But hey, guys, we're already starting off with a massive lull. So is there any chance you guys could help support the channel tonight? I don't want to have another one of these nights. I mean, last night was depressing enough. So we just can't have multiple days in a row. That doesn't work out. So if you have the ability to help support the channel, that would be awesome. So I guess they went to this dollar. I'm not sure. Was it there before? Yeah. So it's a Dollar General there, I think. And then they drove back, and I think around this road here. And then they got home, and I remember it was something like they emptied the groceries out of the car, and then they were inside watching TV or something, and then the mother went and asked, got Summer. And then she went outside and was helping them at the little mini garden or something like that. And then After a while, she went back inside, Summer did, and then she just disappeared. I mean, that's the weird part, is she just kind of disappeared with the kids upstairs, and maybe she went downstairs in the house, and she just disappeared. There's like a rope swing over here, and she just left. I mean, disappeared, and they searched all the areas around with dogs and different people and didn't find anybody. Okay, Joe, well, we're not, if you want to put a super chat in for a Charlie Kirk conversation, I'll reply to it. I'm just going by memory here, but here's Ben Hill Road. There's a driveway that goes up. I don't know if there's street view here. I don't think there is. Yeah. And it winds its way up. I have video of people walking up all the way to the house, etc. And there's video out there of, inside the house, etc. It makes my heart. However, you have a family to support. Yeah, I try to make enough where it supports my channel, and I can give money away. It's just, here we are again, another night where we're just way into the show and struggling. Started off great and then struggle. Hey, thanks, Chelsea. Yeah, I mean, that's why, and that's what's frustrating about there's no ad revenue currently. My videos aren't being watched, so I can't even rely on making extra ad revenue to add to the end of the month. So it just kind of comes on, it's really just dependent on how many people are supporting the channel during the live streams. Now, if you send in super chats, you can ask questions. Like whenever I watch Paramount Tactical, people have questions and they're asking. And that sort of seems interesting. And it's weird how in mine, we're not getting questions. So if you could send questions in on them, that would be great. Or make a comment, do something, Well, what do you mean, Jeffrey? You sound like a complete idiot. Look at these people that show up in here. It's my channel has an income. I'm not a charity intake. Nobody's ever thought that. I am a channel that tries to bring in income to reach specific goals, so that at the end of the month I can also send money in to various true crime related charities, etc. My channel's given away $270,000 since January of 2020. And the only way that happens is if people are supporting the channel. Like a tip, like you're going to a restaurant and I'm a waiter that served you on a 3-hour meal, something like that. Yeah. If you make another comment like that, Jeffrey, you'll never be making another comment again. So go ahead and throw it out. Do it again. Mm-hmm. Right, because his comment was removed. It was exactly, and then what happens is the troll channels go, "Did you see how mean Gray was to one of his viewers?" But if you read the comment, he said, "Where's the proof of giving money?" Is there anybody in here that hasn't seen every single donation we've ever made, the proof of it? Is there anybody in here that hasn't seen it? Right. And obviously you are, Jeffrey, because you've never watched the damn show in your entire life. Because you're an idiot. Mm-hmm. So again, you guys, I ask you if you could please help support the channel. That would be fantastic. So anyways, they never found Summer Wells. They walked all over the place, searched all the time. However, there's this new information.
Hey friends, got a minute for the news. We have a development and a story we've followed for years. The Summer Wells investigation. The TBI telling us their agents and detectives went to a site in Greene County last week following up on a credible lead in that investigation. Of course, she's been missing now since 2021 when she disappeared from her Hawkins County home. They're talking about expanding the...
Yeah, so they're searching in an area. And I'm just going to read some of these more recent, like this is from June. It says June 15th marks 5 years since Summer Wells disappeared from her Hawkins County home. And despite, let's see, I guess it is. Hey, thank you, Tiff11. Yeah, no problem.
Thank you for all you do, Gray.
Well, thank you. June 15th marks 4 years since Summer Wells disappeared from her Hawkins County home, and despite thousands of leads, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation has yet to find any trace of the missing girl. Summer's parents, Don and Candace Wells, recently spoke about the ongoing investigation and the challenges that they have faced. It's been really rough, Don Wells said, describing the past 4 years as a nightmare. Don Wells expressed his belief that Summer was kidnapped. And it's sort of interesting that he says that, saying it's just there's no telling where she's at. She was there 1 minute, and the next she wasn't. The Wells family has also faced scrutiny and harassment from social media and the public, which has made their lives more difficult. And by the way, they kind of, created their I mean, they sort of instigated some of it. These social media groups would attack anybody that we knew and any employer that we worked for. I mean, that part's just sick that people do that. And so it made it really hard for us to obtain employment and all these things, Don Wells said. But there's been people that's helped us, along the way, and we really appreciate that for sure. Does he say more than that?
And all these things, and but there's been people that's helped us, along the way, and we really appreciate that. That's for sure. But we're just hoping, God will turn it all around. And we hope and pray all the time for that. Yeah, we hope so. She could be anywhere. We don't know. Only, we just got to hang on to that hope and
It sounds exactly the same.
do our best to, do what's right.
I just blocked that Jeffrey person. They just came in here to troll.
Back out west and everything else, but this whole thing has tied us down to right here. We can't do anything. Not really. This whole thing's tied us down to this area for 4 years now.
What does he mean by that?
I don't think that's really kind of a tough question. For one thing, law enforcement.
Hey, why was I thrown in jail? What would happen? What'd I do? Hey, I got thrown in jail, you guys. Mrs. Olga Z. I don't think I'm getting out because they're not going to help bail me out.
And to me it seems like law enforcement and me and her as parents or whatever do not get along. They see things quite differently, kind of insulting and insinuating, and to me it seems...
Yeah, I think even if you have a pet, you have a love pet and you see that they got outside the front of the house and you can't find them, you start freaking out. I can imagine it being 10 times worse if it was like you're a child. Yep, okay, well, I got thrown in jail, so I have to go in. There it is, you guys. I'm in jail. That's where people support the channel to get me bailed out of prison. You know, we just kind of know when when we know it, I guess. Said strange things. I don't know if he just kind of isn't really that bright. Who's this? Another troll again? Yeah, well, I always thought that maybe Candace, something happened accidentally at the house and she panicked and put Summer somewhere. I mean, but the next scenario is that she just wandered off and, maybe somebody took her because they haven't found her. They never found her right there. But who's bailing me out, you guys? Or remember when a long time ago when I'd get thrown in prison? Man, it was so different. Now I just sit here and linger and linger and linger and linger. Hey, thanks, Wild Bill Wassman. Well, that's probably enough for a file, maybe $5 to buy a Twinkie for the jail guy to look at another direction. Let's see so there I am. I'm stuck in prison. I wasn't the one that threw me in here. Somebody used have interviewed him and found. Yeah, I don't know. I never thought Don Wells did anything. I'm not out. That's not. What are you talking about, Miss Olga? You threw me in here. Hey, there's I'm a Galio. Soap on a rope. Yeah. Soap on a rope. That one was in the can, not a, what do you call that? Commissary. Soap on a rope. You don't want to have to bend over in prison to pick that sucker up. And thanks, I'm a Galio. Are you okay, Keva? You seem like you're drunk. No soap on a rope. Hey, thank you, 80s baby. There we go. Now we have enough. We're out the door. Now, what about the Uber ride to a hotel? Gonna need some hotel money. Neither of the parents are the sharpest pencil in the pack. Right. Yeah, they're definitely not geniuses, Hey, look at this, Gene Fish. I haven't seen you in a million years. I meant to write for bail. Yeah, I could tell. Thank you. Yeah, hotel and food. He's a real something. Anyways, I'll get out of here. Thank you for considering the bail. Why are you just lurking, Gene? Just type something in.
It's like they kind of, look down on you a lot. I mean, it hasn't been very good. I mean, they tore our house apart 11 times. Why? I mean, why? That just don't even make sense. They searched and tore our house apart 11 times. I've never even heard of that before. I mean, to me, that's, I don't know. They really hurt, the whole thing has really hurt me and Candace a lot, but we're still hanging in there for our kids and trying to do what's right. And holding out hope that Summer will be found.
Well, then type better, Kev, because we've had to remove every one of your comments because none of them make sense.
Well, I mean, they can only do so much. I mean, I think there was a lot more going on during the Biden administration. They're just starting to scratch the surface of, and hopefully they'll continue with a lot of this investigative work. And we've heard stories, you know, of things going on and higher ups and stuff, but you know, lawsuits and other things. But
I don't know what the hell he's talking about. All right, so let's see. And this is another one from back in June. Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson issued a statement on Friday as Summer Wells remains missing. Wells went missing on June 15, 2021. Sheriff Lawson said that his department is still receiving tips and monitoring the spread of misinformation on social media. Man, I didn't know people were still spreading. I mean, are there people that just keep covering it over and over for 5 years? Wells went missing on June 15th. Yeah, okay. So then the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office continues to actively work on this case each day, Lawson said. We are still receiving tips that must thoroughly be vetted and validated. Additionally, we continue to monitor and address the spread of misinformation on social media platforms, including content shared on by YouTubers and other sources. Summer Wells went missing on June 15th, and as we approach the 4-year mark, we want to reassure the public that the case has not been forgotten. Yeah, so it's 4 years, not 5. That's what I was thinking. I think, let's see, 2021, January, and then 2022 is 1 year, 23, 24, yeah. No, actually, well, next June would be 5 years. Welcome, Flo JN. Case has not been forgotten, and it never will be until some form of closure is found. Well, there's no such thing. Let's see, and then so now we're up to today, and there's just interesting stuff. So the parents of missing Hawkins County girl Summer Wells are declining media requests on yesterday, following a recent search linked to their daughter's case. Don and Candace Wells took to social media on Wednesday to say they do not want to be interviewed and are waiting to hear more information from the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation. Otherwise, it's just more drama and stirred pain, so there's nothing to say. The Post goes on to read. Where is this? This Post. See, there's a lot of times there's just nothing. Is that it right there? Do not want to be interviewed. We're waiting for a statement. Thank you to law enforcement. Continue to work to solve Summers' case. Let's see if this recent one. Now, this is another article. It says more than 4 years after Summer Wells was reported missing from her home in Beach Creek community of Hawkins County, the Tennessee Bureau of Investigation, TBI, confirmed the case is far from cold. A TBI spokesperson said agents, along with Hawkins County Sheriff's Office and FBI, continue to investigate what happened to Summer. On Thursday, November 13th, so just like a few days ago, right? The TBI and detectives were at a location in the 3500 block of Van Hill Road in Greenville, following up on a lead in the case. So that article verifies that address location. And I'll show you why this is significant here in a minute. The area is about 9.5 miles from Wells' family home on Ben Hill Road via Route 347. News Channel 11 up with the TBI asking if the agency, or followed up with the TBI asking the agency if they could provide details about the nature of the tip, if anything had been substantiated from it, and how long it had been since agents followed up on a similar sort of lead. The spokesperson could not release any further details, but said agents continue to follow up on leads as they come in, and the investigation remains active and ongoing. Law enforcement updates on the case have primarily consisted of releasing age-progressed photos of Summer. I think they think she's alive. Now, look at this right here. So these are things that Chasing Truth sent me this one. And I asked her questions, and she gave me some info here. It says, Kimberly Carlin, I was wondering, too, we don't know what they're talking about. It says, I came through and seen Greene County and Sullivan County police cars parked. There was a lot of other vehicles parked there, including ATVs. They all went in the hauler there at the curve. I didn't see any vehicles parked in driveways or at houses at the time when I came through. I seen a lot of vehicles on the side of the road and up the driveway of the house on the right before the county sign. I saw SWAT and maybe 7 police cars camped out at the church before Van Hill Thursday morning. A raid? I saw that coming, or something like that. So it's pretty interesting. But hey, guys, we're currently only at about 33% of the nightly goal, despite being thrown in prison. So if you have the ability to help support the channel, that would be awesome. My channel relies on you guys. There is no ad revenue. There's nothing other than you. And my videos aren't being watched, so I'm just solely relied on the people watching that feel like I do a good enough job to warrant support. All right. So if you have the ability to, thank you. Let's see. The spokesperson cannot release. News Channel 11 also reached out to Hawkins County Sheriff Ronnie Lawson for additional information to see complete coverage of the search for Summer. Click here. Let's see. What does this do? These are just over the years, I guess. All right, here's another one. TBI confirms, I'm not sure what date is. Summer Wells' case is far from cold. Summer Wells was reported missing from her home in the Beach Creek community of Hawkins County more than 4 years ago. The TBI, the Hawkins County Sheriff's Office, and the FBI continue to investigate what happened to Summer. On November 13th, investigators were in the 3500 block of Van Hill Road. So this is like, their statement. 3500 block of Van Hill Road, about 9.5 miles from the Wells family home, following up on a lead in the case. The TBI was asked if the agency could provide details about the tip. A spokesperson could not release any details, but said agents continue to follow up on leads as they come in, and the investigation remains active and ongoing. There's still an active Amber Alert for Summer, and no one has been arrested or charged in connection with her disappearance. I think we need a challenge of some sort in here. It's about the only thing that seems to... I mean, it doesn't matter what I say anymore. Like, hey, guys, I need your support. So if somebody does a challenge, maybe that would do something. All right. Yeah, so what's interesting about all this, so if you look at this road right here, I mean, this is Summer Wells, and then here's Highway, I think that's, I can't remember the number of it. That's not the number, that one. 347. So you follow this around, and then, hold on. Yeah, so you can just stay on that same road. And then there is a church right here. So I'm kind of wondering if that's the church that they were talking about. And then right here on 347, if you take a left on Van Hill Road, the 3500 block, so right here, then you stay there and drive like this. That is the 3500 block is right here. So here's something that's interesting. Is the house apparently that's right there. So here's the curve, and maybe that's what the curve was, and the holler they're talking about in there. Well, it turns out that this property here, the person that lives there, his last name of Hill. You know. And I guess he has a relative, Fred Hill, that lived right here on 167 Ben Hill Road, which is right next to the property. So that has to be connected in some way. The fact that a guy that used to live here, he doesn't live there anymore. He even said that he was there and he left right around the same time as house, and then you're looking in an area at a relative's house of his. So that's got to be connected somehow, wouldn't you think? The pond at Van Hill is supposedly where Candace liked to fish. I mean, I don't know. How do we know something? This little pond right there, she liked to fish right there. That little pond. I don't know. How do we get information like that? Yeah, so I guess it's just right up there and around. Interesting. This is 2024 right here. Hello. Thanks, Lisa Belson. You're always so, I mean, you're just so kind. Right at the right time. It's like we're just absolutely struggling again. And there you go. Thank you. Look at that one little move. I guess that's quite a ways down. But, and they have the same last name. So the guy that owns this house, his last name is Hill. And Fred Hill is somebody that's been mentioned in the case since the beginning. And he lives right here. And apparently even said something about how he had left just before or just after Summers apparently went missing. You know, does anybody think that how can that not be connected somehow? But thanks, Lisa Belson. Mm-hmm. I don't even know who this person is. It's not an 18-foot jump. Hey, can you get rid of the... is this a new account again? This full chalk thing? You know? Is this another new account? You're nuts, man. An 18-foot jump. No, it was 10. You know, just immediately look at the dates on these and get rid of them. Okay, like right there. How come there's so many of them? These, oh, I see. Who are you talking to, Jamie? Look at what's going on with the trolls in here tonight. What's happening? Man, this is crazy. Yeah, we need some challenges or something going tonight. Try to get to... we need to have a good night, because yesterday wasn't one. And just need to have a good night in here. Does anybody think that that isn't related? Like, how in the hell is it possible that you have a guy over here that has a questionable time frame, and then he's like the nephew of the house here that they're searching? That has to be related. Has to be. I mean, that's way too coincidental. And, you know, somehow there's a connection between the two. Right, somebody named Ziggy or somebody married Fred Hill. And of course they're going to be defending him now, right? Of course. Really? How's that, Crime Jester? How do we know that? Very interesting for sure. Hey, look at that. Lisa Belson just said she'll donate another 5 memberships if 5 of you freaks donate 5 or 1. So one, each, you just have to do 1 and she'll match your 1 up to 5. But see, isn't that amazing, you guys? That sounds like real. And apparently they were there for a couple days and had tons and tons of FBI and TBI, etc. Yeah, so Lisa Belson has a challenge. She'll donate 5 channel memberships if you guys donate 5 total. Now, what do you mean, sorry you didn't get a shout-out? What does that even mean? Sorry you didn't get a shout-out earlier in Gary's... He took a beating tonight. What does that have to do with anything? What are you talking about? My God, sorry you didn't get a shout-out. What do you mean, shout-out? I wasn't in there. There wasn't something to be shouted out about. Well, it counts the same. So if you do super chats or just $25 of anything, it will be the equivalent of 5 memberships. Yeah. It all equals the same. But I mean, why not donate a membership? Because there's a chance somebody would stay around as a member at the end of the month. You never know. I know, you said, sorry you didn't get a shout out earlier in Gary's Paramount Live. Oh. Well, I was still there when he just read my question that I asked. You guys don't think Summer Wells? I think there's a chance Summer Wells is still alive. Yeah. I mean, I'd say it's probably more likely that she's not, but I think it's more interesting now that you know that she, if law enforcement believes she was abducted, that means it's more, has a higher likelihood that she's alive. But didn't you guys see the challenge up there? My God, you guys. So you're saying there's a chance? I think there's a decent chance she's still alive. Because it kind of reminds me a little bit of, what was that one case where the guy broke into a house and then he killed the parents and he abducted the person and 30 days later they found her. She was sort of like hidden underneath his bed or something. Could be something like that, right? Hey, thanks, Wild Bill Wastman, and look at that, Julie Cole nailed it. Thank you. Right. Well, she's only 5 years old. I guess it kind of just depends on how the person, I mean, no matter how you look at it, it's a bad situation. Yeah, Jamie, right. Yeah, what was that last name? Jamie Kloss. I just remembered. Jamie Kloss. Yeah, that was one of the ones we covered perfectly. That one nailed it. I said, in that case, there's a really good chance that Jamie Kloss is still alive because she was the target of the person who went into the house, killed the parents. It's almost like this person wanted her for himself, and that's exactly how it turned out. Another case nailed right here. Not even a profiler, but could tell based on what happened, how it worked. That was pretty crazy how that we nailed that one too. Yeah, remember that, Jessica? That was just like, we worked through it. There's this guy, kind of an incel type. It's interesting if we could go back and look at that guy. Let's see. Abductor of Jamie Kloss. Yeah, it looks like they got it. We got 7 channel memberships there, Lisa. Very cool. Yeah, see, this guy reminds me a lot of some of these more recent killers, Just look at him. Look at this guy. Right here. He's an incel. That's exactly what this guy is. Look at this. Right here. See this guy? He went into a house and he killed her parents, and it was really strange. Went in there, killed both parents, and then he took her out. And I was saying that I think she's still alive because he was just targeting her and then killed the parents to get her out of there. And then a month later, she snuck out somehow, was found on a road running around, and then they went and caught this guy. Yeah, this guy's never, he's in prison for the rest of his life. But look at him. Yeah, just another one of those incel nut jobs. Thank you, Lisa Belson. Look at that. Your challenge was met. Yeah, that was a weird one. Really kind of really sad story, too. I mean, this girl... Where was that? It actually looked really similar to this area. Let me see. Yeah, Jamie Kloss. Let me go over there really quick. I just turned on all the pins for that case. So it was right here. Yeah, so she lived right there in this house. And then the guy, he drove up here, he broke through the front door, and he killed both parents. One of them, I guess, went in the bathroom and was trying... I mean, it was just... There was a really description in the... I think there was a probable cause document that we had. And then... Where was this guy? I don't know where the killer... Let's see. Well, the 911 call... Oh, that's right. Yeah. Wow. Okay. Crazy. Remember that? See, the killer was the killer of the parents of Jamie. So that was right here. And then he drove her all the way up here. And it's in the same state, looks like, of Wisconsin. But well over 100 miles, it looks like. And then it was right on this little loop. There was somebody exercising going around. And he was right here in this house. He had her kept. Hidden underneath a bed the whole time. Yeah, I think it was something like that. Yeah, like a bus. Something like that. For sure. Well, thanks for doing the challenge there, Lisa. All right. So that was just sort of an aside really quick. So I think there's a chance that Summer Wells, it's something similar to that. Somebody that thinks, oh, I can groom her. She's 5 years old. By the time she's older, she'll just think I'm the greatest. But maybe, I don't know if they're, but obviously they wouldn't be interested. Maybe they're a pedophile because she's only 5, So then at a certain point, I mean, I guess even currently she's still in that category. So I don't know. It's just interesting that somebody abducted her, it seems like now. They must believe that too. They searched everywhere and she just wasn't there. So it's not like she just wandered off, and there'd be no reason to just wander off. I think it could be when she was out in the backyard summer on the swing, perhaps. Something like that. Hey, Matt, and you guys, can you hit that like button for me right now? All right. Right now. Hit that like button 10, 20, 25, 30. Hit that like button 40, 45, 50, 60, 65, 70. Hit that like button. 85, 90, 85, 90. Hit that like button. Hit that like button.
30, sir. 25 of them, you're out. I'm 25, 30, 30, now 5. I'm 35.
Yeah. Been on my mind for years. Yeah, it pops in my mind every once in a while. So usually I see something related to it. However, but the key takeaway from today is that just a week ago, they were searching on Van Hill Road, which is this road right here, but way up here in the 3500 block. And a lot of people say at 3537 Van Hill Road. And that house happens to be, I think, if I remember correctly, the uncle of, let's see, where is it? The uncle of Fred Hill, who lived right here and even sort of had an alibi, like, oh, I just left just before she went missing or something. I mean, it's too coincidental. What are the odds that one of the close neighbors, at the time she went missing, they just happened to be searching 10 miles away at that person's, like, uncle's house or something? That's, like, not coincidental. At that point, it's overwhelming. That's one of those circumstantial evidence things that you just go, in terms of just looking at the case, like, this has got to be something. All right, now what does it mean anything? We don't know if it means anything. They went searching, but obviously they were searching because of that connection. And so that must mean somebody knows something. Wouldn't it be interesting if Ziggy, I guess there's a YouTuber that married this Fred guy here, and she's out there defending him, but maybe that's all a ruse. And she did all of this just because she's always thought that he had something to do with it. And maybe she's been the one feeding law enforcement information. Wouldn't that be interesting? And if that's the case, good job, Ziggy. I don't think that's very likely, but wouldn't that be crazy? Five-year-old single man can't adopt a young. He's cooked. Yeah, well, we don't know what it is. Oh yeah, I don't know. Yeah, maybe it's something to do with the others. Maybe he got married to Ziggy for some reason. All right, we're currently reached 80% of the minimum goal tonight, but it'd be nice to get to the point where I can donate my 5, which we're still about 20 gifted memberships away from me being able to gift 5 away. That's how slow it's been in here. There's something about both parents that give me really strange. Yeah. I don't know. I've never had that feeling that you're talking about. I've never had that. I've never had strange feelings about like Dawn Wells. I mean, people that watch my channel, they'll tell you that. Candace, I thought maybe, I think something happened to Summer. That's my main theory, was that something happened to Summer, and because of CPS and not wanting to lose the other kids, she did something with her body. Like, let's say she was on the swing and accidentally died. You wouldn't want CPS to show up and go, hey, you didn't make this a safe place, and then take your other kids. So I thought it was something like that, which is, less nefarious. But then I thought this next one would probably be like somebody abducted her, or I don't know. I don't think I've ever thought Dawn had something to do with it. I could have talked about it on shows, but I think I have a timeline somewhere. I don't know where I put it. Because I used to have all the different pieces of information. I don't know where they are now. Let me see. Let me look in these folder. Yeah. Do I? Timeline discussion I had on... I did have a timeline discussion on August, way back when. I don't know if I have... Wait, I do have... Let's see, there you go. So this is all I have, the document that I see. Went to June 15th. Went to hospital to pick up Candace Bly. Remember that now. That's the mother of Candace. Then submitted a prescription at Walgreens at 3900 Fort Henry. I don't know if I have the time in here. Okay. Which is close to where the swimming place is. So they went swimming for no more than 20 minutes while waiting for the prescription to be filled. And then there's a guy named H wanted to go swimming because he didn't want to be around his grandmother. Candace tells H they got to get mom at hospital, then Walgreens, then we'll take him home. Candace then says because they had to wait for a prescription, they went to Warriors Park to play, and mentions how much trash there was there. They went swimming at 12:21. All four stayed there for 15 or 20 minutes, got mom's prescription, then took H home, and then Candace Bly, Candace Wells, and Summer went home. Let's see. Then Candace Bly, Candace Wells, and Summer went home. That's right. So all three of them, the grandmother, Candace, and Summer, all went to the grocery store, then dropped off H. And there's an image in the car at 3:09, apparently driving home. Summer is dry and in the back seat. Candace Bly and Candace Wells were planting flowers when they got home. He went in. When they says we went into the trailer after washing our hands, probably with a hose. Summer got a piece of candy from grandmother. Summer wanted to go back in to see her brother. And so Summer's mother walked all the way over to the porch, and she watched Summer walk into the kitchen where the boys were watching TV. Mom told the boys to watch Summer and that she would be back. So she walks over, and Summer was outside helping with the garden, got a piece of candy, and said, I want to go back inside. So Candace walked her over to the house. And then, the mom told the boys to watch Summer and that she would be back. This is why I thought something accidentally happened. And it says, this is the key. She claims within 2 minutes, she came back and asked the boys where their sister was. But you know how people just talk like that. I mean, why would you come back in 2 minutes? And they said she went downstairs to play with toys in the playroom. So mother yelled downstairs for her a couple of times, but did not get an answer, which was unusual because she would always respond. So she went downstairs and she was nowhere in sight. Now there was a head shaving part. Summer shaved her head on her own, and it looked weird. So they shaved all their Candace and everybody. They shaved all of their hair off, and then Candace did. Oh, that's right. So Summer cut her hair really short and it looked bad. So then they shaved her whole head off, and then Candace also shaved her head. That's why she's has a shaven head, sort of in solidarity, so that she wouldn't just feel bad. It didn't bother Summer at this point, he said, so probably did it first. That was just like timeline notes that I had back then. But you guys were on one of those massive lulls again. Let's see, that Anna Kepner is a nice... Man, can you get rid of these fools, man? Where do these people come from? I mean, my God. Jesus. Yeah, you guys got to get on top of those weird comments like that. But I don't want to judge how anyone deals with this type of... Well, then don't do it. Yeah. I don't think that had anything to do with that. I still thought it's just kind of interesting inside the house with the kids. Then she goes downstairs, and so I guess, we've seen what it looks like. So the front door, if I remember correctly, is right over here, or the door that she went in. As a matter of fact, if we go to 2020, oh, they got rid of the one. That's wild. Oh, wait. That's right. It's over here. Yeah, so this is like this trailer that Candace Blythe lived in. And then they were doing stuff out here, and then apparently walked over here, and then the door to the downstairs area is right over there. So is it possible that Summers went down to that area, and then somebody came up here and coaxed her out or something, and then brought her down this direction, and that guy lives right over here. Could have driven here or something, and then I don't know. It's hard to figure out. Right, nobody's chatting anymore again, you guys. It's dead as a doornail. Let's get some type. Well, I mean, that's the whole thing. Is Fred here? His uncle is where they were searching 9 miles away, right over here, in this area. So, I mean, to me, that's why they're searching there. It doesn't mean that any of these two people have anything to do with anything. It means that might be why they're searching there on a tip. And if they don't find anything, then it's not valid. But that is got to be why they're over there. Now, who's Candace Blythe then? All right, I'm going to switch topics now. I don't have any more to say about this one. All right, we're just going to do the Anna Kepner cruise ship death. No, Candace Wells is Bly is Candace. I don't know. I don't know if is that right? Because they just said both of them. Why would they say Candace Bly and Candace Wells? I don't really care. I just know both of them are named Candace. Okay, the grandmother and her. All right, you can sit there and try to nitpick on little bullshit last name stuff. It just doesn't matter. Her mom's name is Candace. Let's see. I don't know, Claire. You just keep asking a lot of like conspiratorial questions. Let's see. Yeah, that's what I thought, Sandy. but apparently I'm being called out. I thought Candace Bly was the grandmother. Let's see. Hold on, let me look at this again. Hold on a second. Candace Bly, now it's saying Candace Bly, the mother of missing Rogersville 5-year-old Summer Wells, released a statement on Friday. So, I don't know. I don't know if I am, Sandy, because this article I'm reading says that. Although, wouldn't the grandma's name be Bly unless Candace was married before that? So wouldn't it be Candace Bly? Ah, shit. I don't know. Right, but wouldn't her mother last name also be Bly then? So wouldn't it be Candace Bly and then Candace Wells because her mother's last name would be Bly also unless she got remarried to somebody? Doesn't that make sense? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay, then it is. So people are saying it's hair then. Right, but if that's her maiden name, then wouldn't her mother's last name be the same as her maiden name? Grandma was married to Mr. Bly, had daughter Candace, and then she remarried and took back Bly who? But hey guys, is there any chance you guys could help support the channel tonight? We keep having these really long lulls where it makes it almost impossible, and we're still not even at just the basic goals. So if you guys have the ability to do that, that would be great. Yeah, you've typed it in 9 times, Whiskey Boots. I just don't really care. I just know that the grandmother's name is Candace, and so is hers. That's what matters. All right, I'm going to switch over to this other one now. Mm-hmm. Good night, Richard Watts. Well, Lisa Belson's doing another one. All right, since nothing I say makes a difference. Lisa Belson said she will donate 10 channel memberships if you guys do 7. So that's even a better deal. All right, I mean that's crazy right there. I think she got 2 extra on her original one, so that kind of counts, I guess. Yeah, so if you guys do 7, Lisa Belson, with their amazing generosity, will do 10 more. Why do they call her Candace Wells then, Jigsaw 2? Okay, so they were never married. I mean, it's been 5. I haven't covered this case in 3 years, so I don't remember everything. Yeah, I mean, they go. Well, it sounds like they're married. It says Don and Candace Wells, marriage on the rocks. I don't know. Hey, look at that. There's Wild Bill Wassman, Bruce Holdaway. Just need 5 more now. Candace Ply is not married to Don Wells. I don't know, man. I don't know. Can I ask why it matters at all, though? I mean, it's like you got these people that spent the last every second of every day just staring at the screen about Candace Wells, and they're so worried about just like something like that, where it's really not the point of the entire thing. Yeah, I mean, I think we should do. I think what we should do is go over. I have 3 folders, huge folders that I have filled with Summer Wells stuff, and I think we should go over that again coming up here, and keeping in mind what we've just learned. And I thought, I also thought it was interesting if you go back to the June of this year, where Don said he thinks she was abducted. And then that's exactly what the FBI seemed to think by checking where they were checking. Although maybe there's a whole nother reason that they're at that property, but it's still got a connection. I mean, somebody earlier said that that's where Candace liked to go fishing. I mean, that'd be kind of weird. How would she know about that property? All right, but we need 5 more channel memberships, and then Lisa Belson will gift 10, if you can believe it. Summer would be about like 9 or 10 currently, I would say. Do you guys want to switch over to this one now? Yes, they were married. They have shown their wedding photos. Obviously, she kept her maiden name. People do that these days. Also, it costs a fee. But they also call her Summer and, Candace and Don Wells. They don't say, it's all over the place. Yeah, I'm just trying to see if we can get those 5 gifted ones there. Then we'll be in a better place. Let's see. So I'm going to go back, and we're just going back in time now. I made a chart too, by the way.
Oh my gosh. There's something about a cat's purr that is so...
Oh, jeez. No. Let's see. All right, look at that. I'm going to make a... Oh. There it is right there. All right, I was actually going to do a challenge thing on here. Thanks, Chris O'Connell. Very cool. Thank you. And thanks for your membership gift at the end of last show when I was taking off. All right, anyways, the grieving dad of a high school cheerleader found dead on board a Carnival cruise ship is begging the FBI for answers. Claiming he has no idea what happened to her. Thank you very much, Lisa Belson. Very generous. Thank you so much for doing your challenges too. Look at all these new members. The grieving dad of a high school cheerleader found dead on board a Carnival cruise ship is begging the FBI for answers, claiming he has no idea what happened to her. Anna Kepner, 18, was on a 6-day Caribbean getaway with her family when she was declared dead Friday morning in international water between Mexico and Florida. It says FBI agents and forensic examiners swarmed the Carnival Horizon when it arrived in the port of Miami around 8 a.m. the next day. They removed the bubbly straight-A student's body and completed an on-site investigation within a matter of hours. The FBI has confirmed precious few details of the tragedy, merely confirming they responded to the scene. Speaking to the Daily Mail in an exclusive interview, Anna's heartbroken father, Christopher Kepner, 41, said agents interviewed his entire travel party, including his two younger children, and Anna's stepmom and step-siblings. We were there as a family. Everybody was questioned. Everybody came off the ship. I don't know who they are looking at or what their investigation, said Christopher of Titusville, Florida. That's actually the father. The FBI hasn't shared anything with me yet. I would imagine they're going to be in contact with me about it. And so that's her. It looks like some of these pictures are on the actual ship. Like that one. And that's her car, I guess, at her school. Anna grew up with her dad's stepmom, Tabitha Kepner, 33, and a younger brother and sister. Tabitha told the Daily Mail she was still waiting for answers and couldn't comment further. Hey, thanks, Aaron Bremer, for the compliment there. 42 months, thank you. Oogla boogla. No one analyzes video and pulls out so much information like Gray. Well, thank you. So that's the father, Christopher. I think her name is Chantel right there. That's their house. I think I have that. I think it's like right here in this. Let's see. That kind of looks like that might be the same one we were just looking at. Is that right? Yep. Same one. Wow, look at that. Nice car there. That looks like a really expensive car. I don't know what it is, but what year is that? That's 2022. I don't know if they were there maybe at that time. Not sure. Yeah, that was a night full of trolls, man. That was crazy. I was thinking, let's see. I think they just like coming over. They're like part of this community of people. The Carnival Horizon had visited Jamaica to deliver hurricane aid supplies and made tourism stops in Grand Cayman and Cozumel before heading back to Miami. When it arrived in port Saturday, passengers were told to leave their cabins earlier than usual, according to cruise blog. Carnival said in a statement, "Our focus is on supporting the family." All right, and then here's, I'm just going back in time. Like, it was kind of a mystery at first. It was like cruise ship death mystery, cheerleaders, final post hint at heartbreak and resilience. Let's see. In an October 26 video, she shared a series of selfies and wrote that she would continue to have a smile on her face despite what sounds like a rough breakup. Even after every break. So that's originally I was sort of thinking, oh, did she do something to herself? Even after every breakup, being disrespected, being lied to, being cheated on, being used, getting manipulated, getting played, I will always have a smile on my face and a kind heart. Reads the on-screen text in her video reported earlier by the New York-based legal news site Lawyer Herald. I don't know why I've been through what I've been through, but I can promise you I never deserved it. The post continued. Am I mad at those people for what they did to me? No. Am I upset? Yes. You deserve to be happy, but if it ain't with me, then never mind. It reads using shorthand for never mind. Okay. Yeah, we know. 11:15 a.m. on November 7th, she was found dead aboard a Carnival cruise ship. And there she is right now. Or right then, I mean. And it looks like maybe that's... I'm not sure where that is. Anna Marie Kepner was a senior and a member of the varsity cheerleading squad at Temple Christian School, a private K-12 Baptist school. Okay, that's in Titusville. So I guess right next to her house, actually. It's called... Let's see, what is it? Temple Christian. But it's actually, there's a Temple Baptist Temple. And that's just, yeah, right here in Titusville. It's just like a couple blocks away. I mean, it's right there. I don't think that, I mean, look how small that is. Jeez, that's K through 12, huh? But that's it. Probably, maybe there's a school back here, maybe. It's hard to say. All right. So at this point, if we get 9 more channel memberships total, then I'll donate 5. That'll get us to the point where I donate my 5. So we need 9 more. All right. So right here. Wait, I gotta get the right folder, or it just gets all out of whack. Right here. And that is the Temple Baptist Church. Right there. So that's my challenge. All right. Oh, shit. That's it right there. Okay, well, I guess I'm going to do it. Here we go. Membership gifting, and there it is. And thanks so much, Chris O'Connell. All right, there you go. There you go. Thank you guys so much. And you guys, I want you to know, I mean, I know sometimes I come across like I'm just frustrated on nights where it's slow, but I just want to say thank you for everybody who, I know that you earn the money, you're working, you're supporting my channel. I appreciate you, believing in what I'm doing, that you want to do that. I mean, I just wish my videos did better and took pressure off. Like, I just didn't have to care about the shows, income, etc. But, I mean, it used to be, by the way, that I rarely made videos, and all I did was shows. Like, I would just do shows, and we were still doing all the great stuff we were doing over all those years. But I just want to say thank you. I know it's not, easy for everybody to help support the channel all the time, but I appreciate it. All right, so I'm not sure what else to tell you guys other than I love all you guys. I mean, we've been doing this for years, and It's just, you know, sometimes it does get frustrating in here. But that's short of just my own problem. Nobody's required to help support the channel. All right. You're never watching again. All right. And thanks, Lisa Belson, for your challenges. And tonight, Chris O'Connell as well. Thank you. I'm never watching again. Yeah. Man, it just keeps churning out people. Members. Look at that. Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, that's weird because I keep hearing other people say the same thing about there's no notifications being given out for certain channels, and like it's just weird. Tonight's like one of my bigger nights audience for some reason, you know. Like I don't, you know, maybe we need to be covering other things. But anyway, let's just get back to this. You know, I don't know what's happening when I put out videos. It's just, you know, it's as if I'm a new channel that just started. Pretty wild. So anyways, her remains were returned back to Miami. There she is again. Kepner's close friend told Fox 35 that Kepner was positive influence on her friends and encouraged them to do well in school. This can't be real, she said. All right, there's one more back on the 13th. Time frame. So this is something that people were like, wow, how'd they figure this out? Look at it. The Federal Bureau of Investigation has released limited information. The key detail now confirmed is that Anna Kepner passed away on Friday, November 7th at 11:17 a.m. All right, well, the reason they know that, I believe, is because she's got one of those smartwatches on. That's what I think. You know, this is as significant as the death on the high seas applies to victims who die in international waters. Making matters worse, Anna's father, Christopher Kepner, has stated that the Kepner family is in the dark. He told Daily Mail the FBI hasn't shared anything with me yet. Well, that's because at this point, she's found, you know, I mean, I guess we're going to find out here in a minute. She was literally found in the room that she was staying in. A high school cheerleader who died on a Carnival cruise ship was found underneath a bed by a housekeeper, according to multiple news outlets. I mean, it got pretty interesting, to be honest with you. Law enforcement sources confirmed to ABC News and CBS News that a housekeeper found the body of Anna Kepner, 18, underneath a bed wrapped in blankets. So that means somebody else killed her, wrapped her in a blanket, and put her under there. You can't come up with something, oh, she died accidentally, and somebody wrapped her up and put her under. That doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense at all. Kepner was found dead on the Carnival cruise ship in Miami. Kepner was reportedly on a family vacation in the Caribbean with her father, stepmother, and 3 step-siblings. Is it 3 step-siblings? I thought it was 2 step-siblings. I don't know, maybe, let's see. The ship returned to Miami, where the FBI has since opened an investigation. Local outlets, Florida Today and Wesh, report that Kepner's 16-year-old stepbrother is being investigated by the FBI. And this is her biological mother right here. Now, when you look at these pictures of her, Almost every picture, she's got a smartwatch on. That one, I mean, hell, like even this one, she's got a smartwatch on. I think that's what that is anyways. It's hard to say if that's a watch, but I mean, there's tons of pictures of her where she's got the smartwatch on. Anna Kepner's mom of teen who died in cruise ship remembers her daughter. So I guess these are... Was that her before? Wow. Yeah, I know the situation. This is my org chart right here. Okay? So these are the different people. I'll tell you what I think happened here. So this is Anna Kepner. Her stepsister is this young kid up here. This is the stepmother. You know, Chris Kepner and this is Chantel, Chris Kepner. This is the 16-year-old. This is the 14-year-old. And this is the 9-year-old biologist. See, I don't know if there's no 3 step siblings unless there's somebody that's missing that I'm not aware of. I think it's just Anna and then her brother and sister. So there's 3 siblings here. And then a stepbrother and a stepsister. Right? So that's how I have it. And I think, I mean, they actually get into more detail later about like the timing of what happened. I think she went back to her room after eating breakfast. She wasn't feeling good. And then these guys went back to the room a little bit later. Then the 14-year-old biological brother, he wanted to go back out and take pictures of the boat. And that it means that he was the only one in the room with her, and she never left that room again. And then she's found dead, wrapped up underneath the bed. I think it's going to be one of those things where, you know, he tried to do something, his hormones kicked in, he wanted to, I think she's strangled to death. Strangled or smothered. And she wasn't complying, like she wasn't interested, and he just couldn't handle it. And he, I think he killed her, and then... I mean, I'm kind of wondering what her condition, like was she assaulted in some way? And if she was, I think it was actually, would have been after she wasn't alive. I know that sounds crazy, but what's he going to do? Let her scream inside the room? I don't know. But if she was assaulted sexually, I think she wasn't alive at the time. I can't imagine. So that's kind of how I'm seeing this situation here. What the heck? It's K. Miller! Holy crap! Hey, thanks, K. Miller. Very kind, very kind.
Emoji. Heart hands emoji.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. That was very nice. I mean, doesn't it sound like what I just said? Doesn't that make sense? But this kid right here, I don't know what he looks like or anything, but he's probably has, you know, his hormones are, that's that age where you're just like a weird thing. And she's in the room, and then when the biological brother left, he thought, this is my opportunity. He tried to say something. She was like, no, I don't want to. We can get out of here, you creep. Now he knows that she's going to tell her dad that he tried to do this. And so I don't know. It could be that he killed her so that she wouldn't say something to the dad, or he wanted to assault her, but then he killed her first. Because you wouldn't want her yelling inside the room. What do you guys think of that? Anyways, yeah, thanks again up there to Kay Miller. Strong. She could have put up a... Yeah, it's hard to... she wasn't feeling good. If he strangled her, it might not have been that much of a fight. Yeah, it's shit story, She was a senior at Temple Christian School. Anna was pure energy, bubbly, funny, outgoing, and completely herself. She never had a filter. Well, I like that. That's how I am. And that was part of her charm, whether she was practicing new makeup looks, even if she had nowhere to go. She attended several high schools, Titusville High School, where she was a member of the varsity cheer team. She then moved over to Astronaut High School before joining Temple Christian School. Astronaut High School, huh? What we know about Anna Kepner's death, let's see, Fox 35 has learned that Anna Kepner died aboard the Carnival Horizon cruise ship at 11:17 a.m. on Friday, November 17th, and that's because she was wearing a Fitbit watch. That's the only way they would know something like that. And we've seen that in other cases. Remember that one kidnapping, or the one case that hasn't been solved yet, where that one lady, somehow left her house in her car, and then she was found in a river, floating downstream, and her Fitbit showed when she died in that stream. We don't know. It sounds like it was an actual homicide in that case. I'd like to pick that one back up again one of these days. Forgot the name of it, but I can figure it out. Anna Kepner's stepmother and her ex are in the middle of an unrelated child civil case. I'd like to know about that, though, in Florida court. However, in those documents, it reveals that a 16-year-old step-sibling is part of an open FBI investigation related to the tragic situation in Kepner's death. It is true that there is an open investigation regarding the death of, this is the quote, the death of the biological daughter of the stepfather and 16-year-old is a suspect regarding this death, which occurred recently on a cruise ship. It reveals that the 16-year-old is now living with a relative of his mother. Documents also mention that it is believed that an attorney has been hired. So that means a relative of this lady right here, Chantel, is where the 16-year-old is staying. Man, I think I'd put this guy in custody. I mean, we don't know, I guess they have to do their investigation. I don't know of any other, they're going to have to figure out how she died is an answer. Like if she died they can't determine how she died, then he can just say that he was nervous that they'd blame him, so he wrapped her up in a towel and put her under the bed. But if she died from strangulation or suffocation, then I don't think he really has an out, because I think they have a camera on the room. And I don't know. I mean, there's more timeline stuff coming up. Let me go to just the ones from today. Those are better. Okay, so it says, chilling new details in the death of an 18-year-old cheerleader aboard a cruise ship have been revealed after reports that surveillance footage captured the girl's fatal last hours. Anna Kepner, and look, there's the watch again right there. Well, I have a whole bunch of images that have it on there. Anna Kepner was found dead under the bed in her cabin aboard the Carnival cruise ship. Yeah, so I mean, it kind of would look something like that. I mean, how did you do that? How did you put her underneath one of these beds, So they're probably in a room like this. I guess that's probably not wood right there. That's probably a fabric that you could lift up. So that's probably it. All right. So Kepner, who was on a 6-day cruise with her father, stepmother, her 16-year-old stepmother, brother, and a younger sibling, was sharing a cabin with the miners. So she was sharing her cabin with the stepbrother. Sharing a cabin with the miners. So I think she was staying in the room with the 14-year-old. Inside the compact cabin, the two miners reportedly shared bunk beds. Here, let me see if there's another one. Cruise ship. Carnival Cruise bunk beds. Okay, so it looked like that. Like, this is a good one. I bet. Nah, it's probably like this. Maybe it's like this. You know, and she got her own, but they shared one. So she's on this side. And look how easy it is to... I bet you that's exactly what it is. Not that. I bet it's just they all were in bunks. And she just had her own. Or it could be like that, I guess. So maybe there's up there, and then... But that other one was perfect, because you could see how you could put... where was that? That last shot. This one here, look at that. So they're on one side, and let's say she's on that side, and then you just put her body underneath one of the sides. I mean, it could be... yeah. See, bunk beds, when there's two people, it must mean there's one on the bottom and the top. So... It's hard to know exactly. Could it be like this type here? Who knows? But I think there's obviously a way that you can put her underneath. Inside the compact cabin, the two miners reportedly shared bunk beds while Kepner had her own bed. The night before she was found dead, Kepner told her family... Oh, so it was the night before... Well, that's interesting. So if she died in the morning, I mean, what the hell happened there? The night before she was found dead, Kepner told her family she wasn't feeling well after dinner and returned to her cabin. God, that's weird. I thought it was breakfast that she got up. The FBI obtained footage from inside the vessel that showed Kepner walking as she headed back to her room, according to the outlet. A short while later, the miners also reportedly returned to the cabin. So that means the 16-year-old stepbrother and the 14-year-old brother returned to the cabin after she did. She just left early because she wasn't feeling well. Wouldn't that be weird if she was drugged too? Like the 16-year-old maybe drugged her intentionally. Oh, yeah, and that says, footage reportedly captured the youngest sibling leaving the room and wandering the vessel, capturing photos. I wonder if the 11:15 is an error, because it's not AM. A short while later, the miners also reportedly returned to the cabin. Footage reportedly captured the youngest sibling leaving the room and wandering the vessel, capturing photos. The young child, so the 14-year-old, noticed Kepner was not in the room when they returned, but assumed she was up late with other family members. Footage reportedly captured the youngest sibling leaving the room. Yeah, I think that time is wrong on the watch. Yeah. I'm almost positive of that. I'm going to go back to that again. Yeah, right here. One key detail. She passed away on Friday, November 7th at 11:17. I bet that's supposed to be p.m. Right there. That has to be. How could it be 11:17 a.m.? Was she alive underneath the bed all night long? I mean, I don't know. That's just... I mean, obviously, she was in the room here. The youngest child noticed Kepner was not in the room. She was. She was in the room. When they returned, but assumed she was up late. Well, that's weird. So hold on. Footage reportedly captured the youngest sibling leaving the room. Okay. Let's go back to this part here. A short while later, so it was in the evening. Let's just say it's 8 o'clock or something. She returns to the room. And then 8:30, let's just say, the minors also reportedly returned to the cabin. Right? So now all three of them are in the cabin at, like, let's just pretend it's 8:30. Nah, it's not what it says. It doesn't say that. No, because they said that she was the time of... Well, I guess that is possible, too. Like, the 11:17 might be when they declared her dead. Because that is something that they actually just look at their watch and go, okay, at 11:17, that's the time of death. And so maybe they don't actually have a Fitbit precise time, although they probably do. They just didn't have it right then. Because she does wear those watches, the smart watches. So I could see that too. Like the time of death, 11:17, that's the time when she was discovered and an official came in and wrote it down. Okay? So that's definitely a possibility. But anyways, forget that part for now. Let's just go through it like this. So let's just pretend at 8 o'clock at night she wasn't feeling good in the kitchen eating. All right, so just follow along with this. Forget the trying to figure out what the 11:17 is. So like 8 o'clock they're eating. She doesn't feel good. So she goes to her room. Then, let's just pretend at 8:30, because it says a short time later, the 16-year-old stepbrother and the 14-year-old brother returned to the same cabin where all three of them were staying. And then footage reportedly captured the 14-year-old, her biological sibling, leaving the room and wandering the vessel, and he went out to take photographs. The young child noticed Kepner was not in the room. Well, that's interesting. The 14-year-old noticed Kepner was not in the room when they returned. So right when they came back shortly behind her? Wait, leaving the room and wandering the vessel capturing photos. The young child noticed Kepner was not in the room. It should be when... Okay, well, they say when they returned, but meaning him. The young child noticed Kepner was not in the room when he returned. They don't want to say if it's a he or she. That's why they're using they. Like, you guys, get the hell out of here. Just say it. See, look at the young child noticed Kepner was not in the room when he returned, but assumed she was up late with other family members. So when he returned to the room, I would think that maybe the 16-year-old might still be in there. But he doesn't say that. But you see how they just didn't want to say it's a he or she, so they use they there. However, when the family gathered for breakfast on the morning of November 7th, okay, and so that seems to match up with, hold on. There it is, 11:17 a.m. on the 7th. Right. So that 11:17 is just the official time they wrote down. I was thinking that was the watch, but now that we've worked through it, I think it's just when an official found her and wrote down that time. Yeah, the young child noticed Kepner was not in the room when he returned, but assumed she was... See, when it says they returned, it makes me think plural, and then I was thinking they were talking about this part, but then it's broken up by him leaving the room up here to take photographs. So it must be a singular they here, right? Where the young child noticed Kepner was in the room when he returned, but assumed she was up late with the family members, the Daily Mail reported. However, when the family gathered for breakfast on the morning of November 7th, Kepner never showed. Oh, man. Oh, man. That was weird. Her father, Christopher, searched the ship for his daughter before returning to Kepner's cabin to find the cleaning crew had just discovered the teen's body stuffed under her bed, the outlet reported. Legal documents revealed FBI investigators are looking at Kepner's 16-year-old stepbrother in connection to her mysterious death. All right, well, you got to look at it like all three were in the room. So let's just, again, at 8 o'clock she goes to the room. Then at 8:30, they're followed by the 16-year-old stepbrother and the 14-year-old biological brother. They're all three in the room. Then the biological brother takes off to go take some photographs, leaving the 16-year-old and her in the room at the same time. And then when the 14-year-old comes back, we don't know if the 16-year-old biological brother is in the room, but we do know that she wasn't found. Anna was not seen in the room. However, she was in the room, wrapped in a towel, dead under her bed. So how would that happen? I mean, logic would just dictate that however she got under the bed was a result of the 16-year-old stepbrother. It's just now determining how she died, etc. But hey, guys, if you want to help support the channel, we're still trying to catch up from yesterday's show. So if you have the ability to help support the Grant Hughes Invest... Wait, hold on a second. I got to play it like this. Help support the Grant Hughes Investigates YouTube channel by purchasing channel memberships or even gifting a super chat or a friendly thank you. Thank you very much. Wasn't that awesome? I mean, wasn't that just the quality of that alone worthy? Why these kids aren't in school? I don't know. They're on a cruise. A lot of kids go on cruises. I wasn't wondering that at all. Let's see. Even Paulette was like, yeah, what the heck? Come on, K. Miller. I guess it was worthy. Hey, all right. Look at that. K. Miller with 20 gifted channel memberships. Very cool. Look at all those. Man, that's crazy. Yes, it says other possibilities include a medical episode or overdose. Have not been ruled out. Okay. Well, here's the thing. When she was at breakfast, or was it dinner, I guess? When she was at dinner, was she drugged in some way with something? And then she wasn't feeling great, and then the stepbrother goes, oh, I'll watch you out for her, don't worry about it. Then the 14-year-old goes out to take photographs, and she's totally out of it at this point. And then something may have happened to her, I don't know. But the fact that he would wrap her up in a blanket and then hide her under a bed, I think that takes away the accidental... I mean, it just... People don't well, I mean, we made a whole, for some of you who are new here, we did something. I like Gray's promo. What can I say? All right. Hey, I got to do more of those. Yeah. But we did a thing one time. We had to, we talk about how there's cases out there where these people use the excuse of, well, the person died in my house. I didn't know what to do. So I dismembered their body and placed body parts all over the place because I just didn't know what to do. Which I think you guys would agree with me, right? If you have the ability to chop somebody up who accidentally died in your presence and put body parts in plastic bags, you should probably be in prison for 30, 40 years anyways, right? Just because you have that ability to do that. So we did this thing where you had to write a nursery rhyme to Rockabye Baby and come up with your own like nursery rhyme on those types of things, like that situation. It was pretty cool. We had like 50 people play it, and then Mary Lou sang them all. It was pretty good. Yeah. So it's similar here, right? If you're in the room and your stepsister dies, what would compel you to wrap her up in a blanket and put her under the bed? What would compel you to do that? Nothing. You would have seen her having problems and ran out of the room and got somebody to help. So there's obviously something was going on in there. Kepner's body was reportedly discovered wrapped in a blanket, stuffed under her bed, and covered by life vest. Oh, wow, I didn't hear that part. After her frantic family had spent the morning trying to find her. So that means she was wrapped in a towel, probably slid back, and then life vest sort of tucked in there. The Miami-Dade Medical Examiner's Office said Kepner's time of death was 11/17, right, on November 7th, but have not revealed a cause or manner of death. The FBI has now advised Kepner's stepmother, Chantel Hudson, that one of her children may face criminal charges in relation to her stepdaughter's death. Documents submitted, so that's a lot more ominous for him at this point. Documents submitted to court by Chantel as part of a request to delay a custody hearing revealed the surprising, I mean, that's not going to do her any favors. You have your own kid's a psycho, you know. Your custody hearing might not go too well. Documents submitted to court by, okay, then any testimony the respondent may give, either written or oral, could be prejudicial to her or her adolescent child in this pending criminal investigation. In a second court filing, Kepner's stepbrother was identified by the initials TH and was said to be currently living with a relative at an undisclosed location. The step-sibling's father, Thomas Hudson, accused his ex-wife, Chantel, of putting his son's future in jeopardy. The respondent took the remaining minor children on a cruise. The step-sibling's father... Thomas Hudson accused his wife, Chantel, of putting his son's future in jeopardy. The respondent took the remaining minor children on a cruise with a... This is what he's writing. The respondent took the remaining minor children on a cruise with a stepchild of her paramour. The respondent took the remaining minor children on a cruise with a stepchild of her paramour. I don't even know what the hell that means. The filing obtained by the U.S. Sun read. Stepchild of her. So the person he cheated. Well, it's more than that. It's the stepchild. Well, that's weird. Okay, so this is interesting. So what I'm reading out of this, it seems like Thomas Hudson here is worried about his son's future because his wife, ex-wife, took his 16-year-old kid on a cruise with his ex-wife's husband and their minor, let's see, took the remaining minor children on a cruise with the stepfather of her paramour. I wonder if he was nervous that his own kid would do something. Why would you, how would that put his future in jeopardy by going on a cruise? The 16-year-old child is now a suspect. Okay, that's why he's saying that. And how does that put the child in jeopardy? It's the 16-year-old's decision to do what he did, right? It's not like the mother...
The 16-year-old child is now a
Yeah, I don't know, man. That doesn't make any sense. Like, I don't know how you can blame him, I mean the mother, on the cruise ship. Like, he put my son's future in jeopardy because now he's being accused of something. Well, that's because he probably did something. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? Chantel had previously said the family would not comment further on her stepdaughter's death. She shared a heartbreaking link to a poignant obituary ahead of a ceremony celebrating Kepner on November 20th. This is something I've never imagined I have to post, Chantel said on Facebook. Christopher said the family was confused about the cause of Kepner's death. The FBI hasn't shared anything with me yet. I would imagine they're going to be in contact with me about it, but I know as little as everybody else. Kepner's father also said that everybody who came off that ship had been questioned. I don't know why they are looking at, I don't know what they're looking at or what their investigation is. I think it's just obvious, right? There's a body underneath a bed, and they have surveillance of, the other two children going into the room where she was just after her, and then one of the children left, and then we don't know what the surveillance shows of the 16-year-old, but Anna never left that room again, and she was found underneath the bed. And so obviously the 14-year-old didn't do something because he wasn't there, and then it was sort of like he gets back to the room and she's not around and assumed she was still up with other people. And maybe the 16-year-old wasn't even there at that time as well. So when he got back to the room, he didn't, he just went to sleep, the 14-year-old, and then maybe later the 16-year-old showed back up again. Who knows how that worked. The boy slept on the bed with, I think she was found underneath her own bed, I would think. I don't know. What does it say up here? Not in the room when they returned. However, gathered for breakfast, her father Christopher searched the ship for her daughter before returning to Kepner's cabin. Her cabin also had the 14 and the 16-year-old in it. To find the cleaning crew had just discovered the teen's body stuffed under her bed. See, right there. See that? So it's under her bed. What's this whole waters have to do with it? The FBI probe into her passing is very complex. It falls under what's called special maritime jurisdiction laws that mandate the ex-special agent Nicole Parker Okay, jurisdiction laws that mandate this. For example, if a cruise departs from Miami, that gives FBI Miami jurisdiction if it's returning in out of a U.S. cruise port. And if the alleged crime occurred in international waters, then that's the FBI's responsibility. Well, I'd rather have them do it. Parker, who has years of experience investigating maritime cases, said, such cases often required complex coordination between agencies and cruise line officials. I can confirm that the FBI has responded to the scene. So there's that one. I'm just doing the ones on the 20th now. Yeah, it's we're you know, if people don't want to support the channel tonight extra, I mean, I think we're, because of the generosity of a few different people, I think we made it to made up for a little bit of yesterday, I guess. Yeah, something, I think so. Trolls, feel free to, yeah. Exactly. Hey, trolls, why don't you send in a troll comment with a super chat? You ever thought of doing that? Probably not. They shouldn't have been sharing the same room. Yeah, that's weird. I was thinking, I mean, why weren't they sharing the room with the the 9-year-old and the other younger one? That's who should have been in the room with her. You know, especially, I don't know. I mean, we combined a couple families and we all stayed in the same room. Well, she never, my stepsister never stayed in the same room with us. It would always be like all the boys in one room. She always got extra, like her own little thing. Yeah. Well, troll, why don't you do a challenge? Come on. Kepner, 18, had been sharing the Carnival cruise ship cabin with her brother, 14. Let me see if this one's anything different. The youngest brother of a slain Florida cheerleader, Anna Kepner, unknowingly went to sleep just feet away from his dead sister. Right. He was in the bunk and she was underneath her bed. After the boy noticed she wasn't in their cruise cabin, but assumed she had gotten up to spend time with their parents, according to a chilling new report. I gotta start using words like that in my title. Chilling new evidence. Kepner, 18, had been sharing the Carnival cruise ship cabin with her brother, 14, and her 16-year-old stepbrother, who is now a suspect in her death. And so she has the watch on in this picture too, right in there. By the way, I think 11:17 is just the time that they marked down. I think the watch likely is a smartwatch because it's got the big face on it and everything. And that'll tell you probably almost the precise time. They're going to definitely use the information on that watch. Is this about the case or? No, Luigi Mangione, Psycho Nutjobs. Okay. Kepner, 18, had been sharing the Carnival cruise ship cabin with her 14-year-old and 16-year-old stepbrother. On November 6th, the night she died, Anna had left dinner early and gone back to her cabin after complaining of feeling unwell. Her two siblings headed back to the room later that evening, where her younger brother changed his clothes and left again to take pictures of the Carnival horizon as it continued its 6-day Caribbean voyage. When the teen came back, he noticed Anna wasn't in bed, but as he assumed, she had gone out again to be with the adults. The young boy thought nothing of it and went to sleep, according to the source. But why don't they ask about where was the 16-year-old at this time? Have you ever, I mean, doesn't that frustrate you guys? Like, wouldn't it just, to me, it was the next logical question. Like, if I was actually interviewing the kid and, I was going to, or writing this report, I would have said, well, what did he say about, was the 16-year-old in the cabin when he came back from taking the photos? The next day, when his sister still, let's see, Anna was the last seen on the ship's surveillance footage returning to her room and wasn't spotted ever leaving again. Right, exactly. See, that's the truth is this. The 16-year-old or the 14-year-old are who wrapped up Anna and put her under the bed. I doubt it's the 14-year-old because he left and he came back and he went to sleep. And he's also the biological brother. He doesn't have, it's just, that's way less likely. The 16-year-old stepbrother likely thought of Anna as in a sexual way, right? And I think his hormones were flying, and that's what his goal was, to do something to her. Hey, thanks, Wild Bill Wassman. I know. Why didn't they say that? That is frustrating, isn't it, K. Miller? It's like, Jesus. At least you could ask that, or I don't know. I mean, maybe, I'm sure the FBI got that answer, but it should be in this report, because whoever the source was likely would have had that answer, but they didn't ask. They, oh, cool. I know how it works. These guys are just like they are at TMZ. They get something, they just zip it out as fast as possible, and they don't take the time to get the little extra pieces of information. The next day, when the sister still hadn't returned, the family from Titusville, Florida, realized she was missing. When her father, Christopher Kepner, 41, searched the $800 million ship. Oh my God, it's 800? Okay. If it was 900, though, man, that would have changed a lot. For any sign of his daughter, a medical emergency was reportedly announced over the PA system, according to the source. A cleaning crew had discovered Anna's body crammed under her bed, which was next to bunk beds. See, that sounds like that one that we were looking at. Bunk beds her brothers were sharing. Her body was reportedly wrapped in a blanket. It comes as shocking court filings reveal that Anna's stepbrother is a suspect in her death and is now living with a relative of his mother. Let's see if this one has any extra. Oh, man. And no, it's just iced tea, you guys. Hi, everybody, I'm drinking. I remember one time I had a bottle of Jim Beam or something over here. And this person wrote me this email and said, Gray, you're drunk every night. And I was like, dude, I rarely drink, you guys. Rarely. I'd say maybe twice a month have something like a drink. It's crazy. People are absolutely nuts. But what I should do is come on and go, hey, you stupid fuckers. Hold on a second. Let me tell you now. Okay. Yeah. Woo! I removed the comment about the bottle. Oh. Oh, did you just bring that up? Gray, what are you drinking games? You bastard. Gray, you bastard. I'm never watching again. I can't believe you had Gray on your show, Vinny. I'm never watching again. There we go. Oh yeah, oh yeah. All right, everybody, I'm gonna do 3 shots. Let's get going here. But it would be cool. Yeah, you bastard. Anymore, but it would be cool to get all the freaks together. That would be cool. That would be cool. But Gray, hey, there's Baz B, man. Look at that. Baz B showed up. You know what he likes. Right here.
Huh? It's a house.
There we go.
Huh? It's a house. It's a house. It's a house. Huh? It's a house.
Yeah. They took a screenshot of the bottle and sent it to Gray. Yeah, that's how crazy these people are. If you pan around and they go, ooh, yeah, ooh, look at there it is, look. And they sent it to me, and I go, what the hell are you talking about? And for some, you know, I guess one of those nights where I'm showing my screens or something, it panned over and there was a bottle. And they're like, we got him now, everybody, we got him now. You got me what? There's a bottle over there? Does that mean I was drinking it? Does that mean I was drinking it? Yeah, that's what these child psychologists, what do you call them? See, one of my stalkers out there that actually writes these long soliloquies is a child psychologist whose employers would probably love the fact that they have one of their own that is out there that's supposed to be concerned with people's mental health, stalking somebody. Isn't that amazing? That's incredible. Man, one of these days. Got it all documented. It's unreal. I think she wrote a few of them. Yeah, it's pretty disturbing that somebody would spend that much of their own time. See, this is somebody that she'd always send in a lot of super chats and everything like that. And then she was always really mean to people in the chat. One time she literally tried to tell people how, like, what was it? Like, you know, she sent in super chats and then got mad at Zozo or somebody. Like, hey, you better send something in, you know, because you... And it's like, who the hell are you? You know, I mean, I appreciate you doing that, but you don't get to all of a sudden be trashing somebody, you know. I don't know. It was really bizarre. And then I made her a moderator of my political channel just because I didn't really want her to be one here. And then she just went off the rails for like the 5th time, so I removed her as a moderator there too. And then it's turned into one of those things where you're like, wait, what's going on here? What are you doing, Sandy? You just timed somebody out. Come on. Hey, Kay Miller, you just accidentally got timed out by Sandy Shirley, who seems to have this really active cat for some reason. She always says. She should probably just use her computer. But anyways, I can still see you there, Kay Miller. Her last comment was, one of your stalkers sends me messages on Discord and yells at me. Oh, really? Now I want to hear about that, so don't take off. You definitely got to... How did they get a hold of you on Discord, by the way? Yeah, it's like every night you're deleting, and it kind of makes me nervous that maybe some of the people that are being hidden are on her phone. Well, I don't know if she did that on purpose. Well, it did say, she said, message deleted. I mean, I think it'd be hard to do that accidentally, wouldn't it? How would you delete a comment and then time them out at the same time? Weird. No, Lisa didn't do that. It was Sandy Shirley. Are you out there, Sandy Shirley? We're trying to figure this out. But Kay Miller, you got to stay around for a few minutes so you can tell me. I want to hear the story there. Oh, it's only 5 minutes. That's right. Not 10. That's right. There's 60 seconds in a minute. That'd be 600. I'm not even gonna continue the show until we get Kay Miller back in here. Yeah, Jesus, man, we can't have that. We've had that happen quite a bit lately, and she's not even here. It's like she's. Well, she was. Not. I'm talking about the one that we. The stalker. She was a mod on Red, Gray, Blue for a little bit. I dropped my... Well, how come it does all those things when you do that, Sandy? Like, how come drop... Does it really work like that? Like, you drop a phone and then it deletes a comment and then times them out? I mean, that just seems... I didn't realize it was that... I mean, I've seen it happen on other shows where people accidentally do things. I remember, what was that? What was the one? Sassmare. Like one time she came on, it was just like delete, delete, delete. It was like 50 comments in a row. Yeah, just use your PC, Sandy, because it's really kind of doing some strange things. Give a license to be mean. Yeah, it was really weird. And she's like a child psychologist, this lady. And she's just so proud of herself. You know, the weird part about these guys, you guys remember the other night when I read the community post where it was just so childish. It was like, we need a place to have our voices heard that Gray's silenced. What are you talking about? Nobody's silenced anything. You got blocked from my show. You can go over there and talk all day long. It's crazy. Yeah. I'm waiting. I'm going to sit here until Kay Miller comes back. I feel like, I don't know. I want to hear what she was about to say. I'm proud of myself, Gray, you bastard. What do you mean? Are we at 5 minutes yet? I'm just sitting there. I feel bad, you know. And it was, her comment was, oh, there you go. Okay. There's Kay Miller. So tell me about what happened on Discord. Sorry about that. That was crazy. I don't know what happened. Your comment got accidentally deleted and then timed out. Thankfully, it wasn't for like 24 hours or something. So tell me about this. How do they find you, by the way, on Discord? And then what are they sending? Can you send me those? Can you email me the screenshots of that? I'd love to add that to my folder. I've seen you on in the comments under, like when I'm on Court TV or something. Through another Discord server, my name on Discord is the same as it is on YouTube, and your picture is the same. Oh. Well, there you go. So what do they say to you? Right here it says, oh, that's a good go over Gray's stalkers. They're just they're just crazy people. Yeah, so one of the girls actually communicates with you, and she's mad about you supporting my channel. See, isn't that crazy? See, that's why these people are like libel, because they go out and they spread crap and they try to actually affect, and it's worked on some instances where they've tricked people into never, like leaving. I remember that one Juju Positive nut job. Yeah, she actually was caught being over. She got a free membership over here, and then she's over there, and she said, "Oh, I was just over here for a little bit on the channel that hates me over there, the Discord server." She's over there, hanging out with all of them, and I've never been mean to Juju Positive. But I am now. I really don't care. What a ridiculous thing. I mean, she's over there trashing me over and over and over again. And she got a free membership here. And she was saying, oh, I didn't mean to get a free membership from them. And I've never been mean to her. And so she's just one of those. She wants to be liked by other people. And, Yeah, just block those people, K. Miller. Let's see. Sources say the cheerleader's body was found wrapped in a blanket and stuffed under a bed in her cabin. The grim discovery prompted FBI agents to swarm the Carnival Horizon when it returned to Miami. Court filings obtained exclusively by the Daily Mail confirmed that Anna's stepbrother, who cannot be named for legal reasons, now faces possible criminal charges. He is currently in the care of an unnamed third party, according to the motion. Thomas Hudson is also seeking immediate custody of their other minor children, a 9-year-old girl currently living in Titusville, Florida, with Chantel Hudson, custody of their other minor child, A 9-year-old girl currently living in Titusville, Florida, with Chantel Hudson and Anna's dad, Christopher Kepner. The respondent took the remaining minor children on a cruise with a stepchild of her paramour. Let's see. So that's the part. The respondent took the remaining minor children. The respondent took... Okay, so that means it's... this is the one I want to figure out. There's something in this that people are missing, I think. Yeah, so let's see. The respondent, so I think the respondent is Chantel, right? Took the remaining minor children, meaning the younger one that's like 4 or something, and then the 16-year-old, on a cruise with a stepchild of her paramour, meaning with Anna Kepner. That's what they're talking about here. So that's what he's talking about when he's claimed. Thomas Hudson is claiming. This is what I think he's saying. Listen to this. I think Thomas Hudson is claiming that Chantel put her 16-year-old son in jeopardy by bringing him along with her new husband's stepchild, Anna Kepner. So he must know that there's something going on there. See, it says the respondent took the remaining minor children on a cruise. So that, that's the 16-year-old and the really young one, with a stepchild of her paramour, meaning, Chantel's paramour is Chris Kepner, and the stepchild is her, probably not referring to the 14-year-old. And that's what he's saying. And it says the 16-year-old child is now a suspect in the death of the stepchild. So he's referring to Anna Kepner. See, that's interesting, right? I think that's something that isn't really. I think what it's saying there is that the father, Thomas Hudson, believes that Chantel put their 16-year-old child in a bad situation by the Chantel taking her paramour, who's Chris Kepner, on a cruise with one of his stepchildren named Anna. And that's why the next one says the 16-year-old child is now a suspect in the death of the stepchild, not one of the stepchildren. I'm not sure what that means, Paulette. Right, I think that's something like that. Like there's something that he's aware of regarding the 16-year-old and Anna Kepner, his father. Like, I bet you the 16-year-old has told Thomas Hudson, oh man, geez, you should see how hot this Anna, my stepsister is, some bullshit like that to his dad, and his dad's aware of that. Isn't that crazy? I think that's exactly what that's saying there. The 16-year-old child is now a suspect in the death of that stepchild during the cruise. While released from custody, the 16-year-old child is residing with a third party. Wow. That's wild. Yeah, that's... And what was the actual phraseology was a little different. It just said... And what did you mean by that, Paulette, when you said he's not in jeopardy? No, she meant his future. Remember, his future's in jeopardy. She put him in a situation where his future could be in jeopardy. Remember that? Okay, well, that's... I think you... I didn't say it quite right, Paulette. Thomas Hudson in the previous article said his future would be in jeopardy. She put him in a situation where his future could be in jeopardy. Okay? But then you see how it's worded, that he took, his son, it's hard to say it, but like Chantel Hudson, the ex-wife of Thomas Hudson, took their 16-year-old kid on a cruise with her new husband, who has a child named Anna Kepner, and for some reason that put his future in jeopardy just by going on the trip together. So that means it's possible that Thomas Hudson knew and maybe even relayed that information to Chantel about that, because it doesn't make sense logically to start blaming Chantel, putting the son in jeopardy. Putting him in the same room is definitely something you might say something about, because that is a stupid decision there. I mean, I'm not sure where else you would go. What are you going to get, 3 rooms on the cruise ship? But well, no, it just means his future, meaning he's, maybe the father knew that he was a predator type regarding her. I don't know. Right. Yeah. And his dad knew it. Right. I wonder if he knew that they're all going to be in the same room. And I wonder if he said something to Chantel about it. Because that's the only way you could really blame, except the fact that you put them in the same room. You know, a 17 or 18-year-old girl with a 16-year-old boy that's a step. I mean, that's not going to turn out well. You know, especially when you have, like, there's there bathrooms in the rooms too, things like that. I don't want to check my Facebook page. Okay, I'll check it. What do you mean my page? What do you mean? Oh, is that that him? They actually have a picture of the kid now? Who broke up with... Oh, that's the one that broke up with her. Okay, what do you want me to get from this? KK? What do you want me to get from it? Okay, let's see. Tragic teen... is this a new article? Oh, this came out 6 o'clock. Yeah, not too long ago. All right, thanks for sending that. Let's see. Tragic teen Anna Kepner's ex-boyfriend has claimed her 16-year-old stepbrother tried to climb on top of her against her will months before. There you go. Boom. She died on a cruise and was named a suspect in... Wow, that's so weird. So when they were dating, Chantel must have told him, hey, you know, this guy, he did this. And then they broke up, and now he's aware of that. Josh, too, who broke up with the 18-year-old cheerleader 6 months ago, also gave chilling details about the last moments of Anna's life before she was found wrapped in a blanket and stuffed under a bed in her cabin on November 7th. Yeah, this is pretty... kind of confirms what we were just saying. And that's why I was saying I think people aren't picking up on what that meant in the sentences and what it implies. See, that's what we do on this channel. We figure weird shit like that, little nuance that makes sense, you know. But you don't hear other people. They always go, oh, they just kind of gloss over, go do something else. But I think that really was saying something, the way that was written in that document. And it took me the second... I was trying to get it out the first time I read it. Remember earlier in the evening? And then I was like, okay, the second time, what I was trying to say clicked in better. Hey, KK, do you mind if I read this? You don't need to tell people what's in the thing we're reading. She had been on a 6-day... Josh... 2, who broke up with 18-year-old cheerleader 6 months ago, also gave chilling details about the last moments of Anna's life before she was found wrapped in a blanket and stuffed under a bed in her cabin on November 7th. She had been on a 6-day Caribbean getaway with her dad, stepmom, siblings, and step-siblings when she was declared dead in the international waters between Mexico and Florida at 11:17 on the 7th a.m. Josh, who is 15 and talked to the media with his mother's permission, and Anna's little brother heard yelling and chairs being thrown in the cabin the previous evening when she was inside the room. Wow. So hold on a second. Josh, who was 15... Let's see. Josh, who was 15 and talked with the media with his mother's permission, said Anna's little brother, so the 14-year-old, heard yelling and chairs being thrown in the cabin. So she was trying to keep him away from her. The previous evening when she was inside the room with the 16-year-old. Jesus. Wait. Well, this is that night after dinner. Talked to the media and said Anna's little brother heard yelling and chairs being thrown in the cabin the previous evening. So that's after... I mean, that's crazy. So was that when he left and came back? Or what time was that? Because he said he left to take pictures, and then when he came back, he couldn't find her. So when would he have heard all this stuff? Or is this the evening before that, like on the 5th or something? Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, thanks for sending me that. This is like pretty amazing. The ex said the young sibling told him the stepbrother barred his entrance into the room and then heard her yelling at her in a harmful way, like, shut the hell up, and stuff like that. And then heard her yelling at her. You know, I think it meant him yelling at her in a harmful way. It says, heard her yelling at her. Shut the hell up and stuff like that. And that's when he knew something was going on. There was screaming going on. Something was banging around like chairs were getting thrown around in the room. So is this when he tried to come back? I mean, how come that was so casually talked about? Oh, he went back to the room and couldn't see her, so he went to sleep. Well, if you heard her yelling in the room, would you go to sleep? Or is this the night before that one? We gotta get that part figured out. Like, is this the night of the 5th? Okay, because that's the only thing that would make sense. It wouldn't make sense on the night of the 6th at 11, you know, like they go back to the room and then he goes and he takes off to take pictures and then he goes back and he goes to sleep. Now, if he came back and he heard screaming and chairs being tossed and he goes in the room and she's not there, he's going to go, where the hell is she? She was just here. I heard her yelling in here. So it has to be the 5th, all right? That's the only thing that makes sense. See, again, how we can use logic and common sense to try to figure things out. The ex said the young sibling told him the stepbrother barred his entrance into the room and then heard her yelling at her in a harmful way. So thank God the 14-year-old told somebody else, and this person feels like they can say it. Saying, shut the hell up, and stuff like that. And that's when I knew something was going on. There was screaming going on. Something was banging around like chairs were getting thrown around in the room. Who's saying this? But he wouldn't talk to me. But he wouldn't talk to me anymore. He said the FBI told them that if they talk, they'll get arrested because it's tampering with an investigation. Josh said he called the FBI because he was so concerned about what he had been told. They told me they're glad I gave them the information, he said. The former boyfriend, speaking after Anna's emotional celebration of life in her home with of Titusville, you mean of Titusville, Florida, said he caught the 16-year-old stepbrother trying to get on top of the teen 9 months ago. Speaking after Anna's emotional celebration of life in her hometown of Titusville, Florida, said he caught the 16-year-old stepbrother trying to get on top of the teen 9 months ago. Huh. Now, this guy should have stayed with her. I don't know how much luck he's going to have. He said, let's see. She's the one that she was talking about earlier when she was, like, pissed off. The former boyfriend, speaking after Anna's emotional celebration of life in her home, he caught the 16-year-old stepbrother trying to get on top of the teen 9 months ago. He said was, and they just leave out a bunch of words. He said he was having a late-night FaceTime call with his then-girlfriend in the house she shared with her dad, Christopher Kepner, 41, and his new partner, Chantel Hudson, who had brought her children into the home when she moved in. Anna was laying down, and he walked in there and tried to get on top of her, but he got caught by me in the process of it. So I think when they broke up, he felt like, okay, the door's open. But he got caught by me in the process of it. I was like, what the hell are you doing in her room? Then he got scared and ran away. So what was going to happen if he wasn't on that FaceTime? And she might have been dead back then. And I heard his footsteps running through the house because he got caught. He added she was too scared to tell anybody because that one time that he said that if she said anything about getting on top of her, he'd do something. Yeah, see, this is exactly what I said. Without having any of this information, I think he killed her because he didn't want her to say anything to anybody, and that's exact. You can hear it right here. He killed her because, and I think it's possible if she was sexually assaulted that it was after she was dead, because I think he would have had to. He knew how loud she was the night before, and then he had to choke her out or kill her, and then, you know, it could be that it could be the other scenario that I said, that he tried really hard again to assault her, and she got angry again, and he killed her out of anger and to keep her quiet because she was going to say something. Yeah, well, we talked about the drug. We already talked about the drugs earlier. He could have drugged her at dinner, you know. And so maybe in the room she was almost passed out because she said she wasn't feeling well. And maybe that's, you know, he knew that, so he goes back to the room. I wonder why the 14-year-old left the room, really. Was it a suggestion somehow by the 16-year-old? Yeah, I mean, that's a good point. Yeah, why would she stay in the room? I mean, that's a good question right there. Why would she stay in the room with him on the trip? Or why, you know, she probably felt like she couldn't say anything. Anna slept in, okay, she told me that she was uncomfortable. Okay, here's that part. He added she was too scared to tell anybody because that one time that she said that if she said anything about getting on top of her, he'd do something to her. He added she was too scared to, so this is the 14-year-old telling him. He had, or no, wait, that's, what's this guy's name? Josh. Josh added, she was too scared to tell anybody because that one time that he said if she said anything about getting on top of her, he'd do something to her. She told me that she was uncomfortable with them. This is Josh talking again. His step relations being at the house because she didn't fully know who they were. Oh, that's creepy. That their dad had just met this woman. God, not even like a year ago. And she doesn't really like her. She has an attitude most of the time and was very controlling over her. But I told her, I think the mom knew that their kid was like this. But I told her, they're going to be your parents at the end of the day, you know. Anna slept in the dining room of the house. Really? But most of the time, she did sleep in her friends' beds and stuff because of her being uncomfortable with him being at the house. Wow. So she'd spend nights over at other people's homes and sleep in the kitchen, the dining room, because she was so uncomfortable with him. Maybe she figured she'd be safe with her brother in there too. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that makes sense. Right. Like, he wouldn't do anything with my brother in here. But as soon as the brother, yeah, both times, remember the night before the brother wasn't there and he comes back and he hears this stuff. And this time he leaves again. But this time he may have done something to make sure she wouldn't make sounds anymore. And he only had a few minutes. Like, the brother goes, "Hey, I got to go take some pictures." So he knew, okay, it's got to do it right now. You know, he wasn't going to wait 20 minutes, and the brother could be back. She was the best that ever happened to me. I last talked to her 3 weeks ago. I was meant to go on that cruise. Oh, man. I mean, this must be like the bombshell interview. It just came out, right? Like, this right here is the answer. But I gotta say, you know, it feels cool to at least be able to figure it out before it came out, you know? Just by using logic and common sense based on what we're looking at. I'm shocked with what we have discovered here tonight. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Daily Mail has exclusively revealed that the teenager's stepbrother, who cannot be named for legal reasons, faces possible criminal charges. The boy was obsessed with Kepner and relentlessly pursued her despite their blended family, Stephen Weston, Josh's father, told Inside Edition. Wow. Okay, there you go. He was obsessed with Kepner and relentlessly pursued her despite their blended family. He's infatuated, attracted to her like crazy. See, that's what I was saying. I bet he told his dad. Remember I said that a while ago? He probably told his dad, like, oh, man, you know. And that's why his father believes. Oh, wow. So this is all makes all the sense in the world now. All of it. So that means the father and the mother of the 16-year-old have talked about his relentless attraction, etc. And that's why the father, and he's correct, believes that the mother put the future of their child in jeopardy by putting him on that cruise together in the same room. There you go. I mean, that's it. Man, that's absolutely crazy. I mean, Jesus. That mother, now she just seems like a joke. I mean, she had to have known, too. Get a boom for what? Can I get a boom? This one? Hey, Baz B, this is just for you. Here we go. Right on your forehead, right here. Wait, I gotta get the other one. Where's the other one? Oh, man, it's too far away. See, I would go like this. I would go. There you go. Man, we nailed this, right? I mean, that little thing about that document it was really I mean, it's so crazy. The stuff we put together is exactly what this guy is saying in this interview here. I have to agree with him. He said he spoke with her about, yeah, he had to. The boy was obsessed with Kepner and relentlessly pursued her despite their blended family, Steve Weston, Josh's father, told Inside Edition. And that's the ex-boyfriend is Josh. He's infatuated, attracted to her like crazy, Stephen claimed. He always wanted her, he wanted to date her. Is this even before they met or what? I mean, Weston went on to claim that his son tried to warn Kepner's parents, but they didn't want to believe me. Weston went on to claim that his son, tried to warn Kepner's parents. They didn't want to believe him because, oh, you're the ex. You're just making this shit up. So Josh told Chris and Chantel, and they didn't want to believe him. But Kepner's embarrassed birth mother, Heather, was forced to wear... Let's see. But Kepner's embarrassed birth mother, Heather, was forced to wear a disguise to her daughter's funeral. Is that what that was in that picture we showed? Why? Why was she forced to wear a disguise? I don't get it. She told Inside Edition she had been instructed not to attend the service in Titusville, Florida, but was determined to say goodbye. Okay, there you go. Wow, why was she told not to be there? I'm going to wear a disguise, she said. I'm going to put on a wig on and wear some really tall shoes because I'm 4'9". Is that what this picture is? Hold on, where is that one? Is that this right here? Like that's not her real hair and stuff or what? I don't know. Heather, who lives in Oklahoma, has not seen her daughter in recent years, had previously claimed she was not informed of her daughter's untimely death. Some of this stuff reminds me of Madeline Soto, sort of, you know. My beautiful baby girl was found dead Friday, and I just found out last night, she said in a TikTok video on November 11th. Her dad and stepmom didn't even try to contact me, so I'm going to give that to God and let him sort it out, along with whoever did this to my baby girl. But Kepner's father, Christopher, has also claimed investigators have shared barely any details with him. Well, that's because you don't look very good now either. You know, you were actually told, and you didn't do anything about it. So you might even be part of the investigation. What would you call that? I don't know. See, it's different than Madeline Soto, too, because in this case, they actually were told about this. And then in Soto's case, she wasn't told. Yeah, it's kind of like negligent. Yeah, and I've always said in the Madeline Soto case that if Jennifer, is that her name? If she was charged for negligent, I wouldn't care at all. I just don't think she was aware that Stephen Stearns was actually doing what he was doing. I think she was just like the perfect target of Stephen Stearns. Like she's exactly what those predators look for. A mother that's sort of down and out with a young child, and he pretends to be the knight in shining armor and slowly grooms both of them until he gets what he wants, and he grooms the kid so well that they aren't going to say anything. But I could see that being, child endangerment, yeah. In this one, especially this one, I mean, you knew. But Kepner's father, Christopher, has also claimed investigators have shared barely anything with him. We were there as a family. Everybody was questioned. Everybody came off that ship. I wonder what, I'd love to see like the body camera interview of the 16-year-old. See what his face looked like. I don't know who they are looking at or what their investigation is. The FBI hasn't shared anything with me yet. I would imagine they're going to be in contact with me about it, but I know as little as everybody else. I have no idea what is going on right now. We are just trying to sit still and wait for answers. This is before the they have answers now. Heather described her daughter as in an interview. Yeah, let's see. I'm really just like looking up the facts, not the fluff stuff on the side. Fighting back tears, she said, whenever someone was upset, Anna got a lot of put a lot of effort into making sure they felt really cared about. The student, also 18, and who lives in Orlando, Florida, hinted, though, that Anna did have issues, but would not go into detail. Seeing her go through her own bouts, her own issues, it was heartbreaking, Daisy said. Yeah. You know, I mean, here's an alternate theory you could throw in there. Here's the alternate theory. It's not likely, but here's an alternate theory for sort of in favor, like helping the 16-year-old out. Okay, so listen to this one. Like, she's kind of depressed over her boyfriend, and then this guy's pissing her off. So maybe she did some drugs or whatever it was, and she passes out. Then the kid, the 16-year-old, knowing that people realized, like, then I could see him panicking, right? Like, people knew that he was sort of almost stalking Anna, even though they live in the same place. He then does panic and realizes they're going to blame him, but then wraps her up in a... See, that's what's even stupider, right? Then you wrap her up in her towel and put her underneath the bed and then put... See, that's crazier. So that doesn't really work. Yeah. I don't know. That's what he's going to try to say, though. Something like that. Right? Don't you think? He'll try to get out of it like that. It's hard to believe she could be that stupid. Nobody's sleeping in bed with my kid. Yeah. Well, she just is that stupid, though. Yeah. That's the thing. She's just, like, nuts. I mean, she is that stupid. I mean, haven't you heard her? She's really dumb. Relatives, friends, and strangers who just wanted to give support. I mean, here's the thing. The investigators in the Stephen Stearns case said they wanted her to be involved. And they said, you know, after their investigation, they've determined that they don't believe she was aware. And that's pretty interesting, right? I mean, so they know way more than we do, and they said that. Let's see. Relatives, friends, and strangers who just wanted to give support thronged the church and the community where the school cheerleader had brought such joy. Anna grew up in Florida. Yeah, energy. Yeah, see the watch right there? So if she's still got that watch on, I can see that actually recording her time of death as a real time. But the feds have refused to say how she died. Well, I bet you it's going to be, well, it's either drugs, asphyxiation of some sort. That's about it. I bet you she wasn't like stabbed or something. That'd be crazy if that's in there. He has no out on a stabbing. He doesn't really have an out if there's strangulation marks. If suffocation, you might be able to, you know, oh, she passed out and then she suffocated herself, or, you know, make up something. I think this is him right here. He's a hell of a lot bigger in this picture, if that's him, than the other one. I mean, look how strong this guy is. I think this is the 14-year-old. And so that first picture was probably a couple of years ago, I bet. Like this one, or a year ago, probably. Maybe they dated for a little bit too. And so this is, I think these two are these two, but bigger a year later. No out if there was, there's no out if it's an assault, right? And I think if he did assault her, it was when she was passed out, or, you know, I mean, it could be that he drugged her, she passed out, he assaulted her, then he strangled her so she wouldn't say anything. Because she was still awake when he started The respondent took the remaining minor children on a cruise with a stepchild of her paramour. Yeah, see, why would you... That's normal when they're married, so you're saying it because you knew that. See, that's huge. Future is... Okay, here it is. The 16-year-old's future has been put in jeopardy because of the choices made by the respondent. Right. And I actually agree with that now, based on what... what's his name? Josh? Is that it? Yeah, Josh said. I agree with that. I think she did... That did put him in jeopardy. He should have been... Something else should... I think he actually should have been with the father and not staying there. I bet you the 16-year-old fought being back together with his dad because he wanted to be near where Anna was. I bet you that's a part of this story. And I bet you that's a conversation that the father had had with Chantel, and she knew that that was a problem. Wow. Anyways, crazy. I guess we're going to have to keep following this one, you guys. This one's pretty interesting now. I mean, it wasn't like a week ago there was no information. It was just, oh, somebody died and there's nothing. Now, this stuff right here is very damning, very interesting. Maybe tomorrow we could do like a call-in or something about it. Who knows? But man, I've already been on here for 3 hours and 11 minutes. Man, you guys are lucky. Actually, I'm the lucky one. I want to thank you guys for being here and watching. Hey, we actually had 100 and almost 200 people at one point tonight. It's like a miracle lately. Yeah. It's cool, though. But see, I just want you to ask you guys something. Did you see it when we were just going over those original articles? And the way we go over it on my channel is using logic and common sense. And I think it's interesting how, like, when we finally get this other really sort of bombshell information later in the show, because it came out at 6 something, isn't it cool how you can see how it literally works? I mean, it really, you read something and you go, oh, wow, what's that implying? You read it over a couple of times until you really get it, and then boom, you start putting the puzzles together. So we almost had the entire thing figured out without having the benefit of what Josh was saying. Just by a few words and just what you know, the ages and what happened, you can kind of come up with something very accurate. So cool. All right. I'm glad you guys liked the show. But anyways, I think that's proof right there of how we do things generally gets you on the right track. All right? Don't you guys agree? Hit that boom button. All right? Today, sometime? Come on. Come on, you guys. You guys know it. Awesome. Yeah. All right. So thank you to... Well, actually start up here. Start off with I'm a gal, yo! Right out of the gate. And then we had Wild Bill Wassman. And let's see. Then at 7:19, we had Chelsea there. Then 4 minutes later, we had Tiff. And then 5 minutes after that, we had Wild Bill Wassman. And then 1 minute after that, we had I'm a gal, yo. And then 1 minute after that, we had Brinnis Brat. And then in the same minute, we had 80s Baby. Then 4 minutes later, we had Flo J. Ann became a member. And then we had a 10-minute gap. And then Lisa Belson came in, gifted 10. And then 2 minutes later, 12 months. That's Andy's cousin, too. He's related to Fred Hill. That's Andy's cousin, too. I don't know who that is. I thought, yeah, well, it was Paul, right? Paul Hill. So then we had, let's see, 5 minutes after that, Wild Bill Wassman. Then in the same minute, we had Julie Cole gifted 5 memberships. And then also, Victoria gifted 1. And 2 minutes later, Lisa Belson gifted 5. Then 22 minutes later, we had Delana, been a member for 2 months. And then Wild Bill Wassman, that was 24 minutes after the last one. I'm just trying to figure out the timing here. I mean, sometimes it seems like there's these long gaps, but maybe there isn't. Then 4 minutes later, we had Chris O'Connell. And then the same minute, Lisa Belson. I think that was a matching, the 7 matching. And then Aaron Bremer, 42 months. Then 9 minutes after that last one, we had Chris O'Connell, gifted 10. Then I gifted 5 right at that same point because that was me matching. I said if you guys do 9. And then, let's see, that was 8:30. Then 10 minutes later, Kay Miller came in with the double cat eye. And then, that was 20 minutes after that. It was a massive lull time. But then Kay Miller jumped in with 20 gifted channel memberships. And that was at 9 o'clock. And then 18 minutes later, Wild Bill Wassman. And now it's an hour after that with 0 in that last hour. But you guys already, got us to better than last night for sure. So that's good. Well, there's knives on the cruise ships, right? I mean, you go to dinner, there's going to be a steak knife, You don't have to worry about it. I'd be shocked if there's a knife attack in this case. That would just be too obvious, blood all over the place, It just doesn't make sense. A kid he's that strong, he probably, the drugging angle seems to make sense. She wasn't feeling good, went to the room, then she's really out of it, and then maybe he takes advantage of her and then he kills her so she doesn't say anything. Oh, jeez. What's the next one? We're activating the absolute worst, most deviant sexual impulses in kids. Is this the, what are you sending me? Is that the guy? Is that the boyfriend there? And his name is Josh. I don't know if that's the same person, but it doesn't look like him. Oh, it's the article. Is it this one right here? Is this different than the one? Was obsessed with slain. Oh, shit. Is there anything different in this one? Okay, well, keep sending in the super chats then. We got to keep going here. Anna Kepner's younger stepbrother, a suspect in the killing, has a creepy obsession with the Florida cheerleader. They probably just got the same information from the last one. And was once caught climbing on top of her when you say yes, it sounds the same to me. While she slept, according to the father of the slain 18-year-old ex-boyfriend. Kepner's 16-year-old stepbrother was obsessed with her and relentlessly pursued her despite their newly blended family. Yeah, that's exactly the same wording. She was scared of him because he always carried around a big knife. Oh, well, that's different. The alarmed father claimed to the outlet in an interview that aired Thursday. Weston said his son, I mean, obviously there's a knife wasn't used. If it was, I'd be shocked. That's crazy. Weston said his son Joshua, who dated Kepner, once saw her stepbrother come into the room when she was sleeping and got on top of her during a FaceTime call. He's like infatuated, attracted to her, like crazy. He always wanted to date her. Weston said of the suspected where is this interview, by the way? Can we see it? Wesson said his son Joshua, who dated Kepner, once saw her stepbrother come into the room when she was sleeping and get on top of her. Well, she wasn't sleeping if you were talking to her. I mean, I'm not saying there's a difference. It's just, she was in bed, right? We get that. But the FBI is now questioning the high school senior stepbrother after her body was reportedly found stuffed under her bed and covered with life vests. Okay, the rest of it's the same, right? Well, does Inside Edition have the actual interview somewhere? I mean, where is it? Thanks, Chris O'Connell. I was kidding. You don't have to. Ah, shit. Yeah, I don't see it. Maybe they haven't put it out yet. I don't know. I'm going to rename these. Let me see, did I get any coffees tonight? We get so few of those now. Oh, Lisa Valenzuela sent one in. And there you go. Okay, well, if you find it, send it to me. But I think we've got this dialed in too. This is I think we're going to be really close when the actual facts come out. I didn't see one from Bruce. So when you say don't forget Bruce, I don't see anything. You mean from earlier in the show or what? I'm not sure what you're talking about. Yeah, this one right here. I think I said that, didn't I? Yeah, earlier you sent in a gifted membership. Yep. There's nothing on my screen if you're talking about. Look, right there. See that? There's just Chris O'Connell, and that's it. Yeah, you gifted a membership. Yeah. Pretty sure I read that when I was going through it. I know. I already said that earlier. You must have been doing something else. I went through them in order. Yep. I said Bruce Holdaway and then Chris O'Connell. Yeah. Know what? I'm pretty sure I did. I'm always wanting again. That's okay. If I missed you, sorry about that. I just thought I went right down the list. It's kind of sitting there. See, like right here, that's what it looks like for me, so it's hard to miss. You know, I can just click on that and go down the list right there. But if I did, I did, I guess. I don't know. I like having stuff going on the show, but coffees are cool because YouTube doesn't take their percentage out of it, too. So it's like whatever, you know. Minuscule donations on. Yeah. This isn't the end of the month, though, Paulette. I said thanks at the end of the month. What are you talking about? Hey, thanks, Vicky Cobb. Hey, what are you, when you're saying no, Lisa, are you saying I didn't say his name? I thought I did. I thought I just went right down the list. Must have skipped right over Bruce Holdaway. Let's see. I'm just staring at the screen. Well, he might have missed it though. I don't know. Go back. I don't really want to take the time to go back and listen to it. But if I forgot to say his name, then there it is. I don't want to miss anybody. I try to. I thanked you when you originally did it, though, right, Bruce? I mean, it's in the early part of the show. Right, okay. See, coffees on PayPal and then sugar for on screen. I see. Coffees on PayPal or PayPal and then sugar. I don't know, man. You guys just do whatever you feel like it. I'm not, when I miss somebody's name, I don't intentionally try to miss somebody's name. Sorry about that. Man, Lisa Belson, she's really looking out for you guys. That's right. Love you like a bastard, Gray. Right. I'm just staring at the screen. Anyways, I think we figured it out pretty well tonight, right? Yeah, whatever you feel like, how you want to do it. But this is Bruce Holdaway's time right now, the rap time. All right. So thanks for being here, and thank you. Special thanks to again, we got Lisa Belson, Chris O'Connell, and Kay Miller, who donated quite a bit, and everybody else who was supporting the channel. I really appreciate it. I know it's not it's hard-earned money that you guys make. Appreciate the support. All right. So thank you all for being here tonight. Hope tonight's show was interesting. We did an update on Summer Wells. Looks like they were kind of onto something there. And then we went over Anna Kepner case. That was pretty interesting. I'm glad we covered it now. If we covered it 2 days ago, it wouldn't have been that interesting. See, today was interesting because there was just enough to predict reliably what may have happened. And then during the same show, KK gave us these new articles that came out while I was doing the show that were an interview with their ex-boyfriend, and This guy is like a predator. The 16-year-old stepbrother. Okay? So there you go. Thanks, everybody. We'll see you guys tomorrow. And as I always say, until next time, be safe out there. Thanks again, freaks, for your generosity. Really appreciate it. Yeah, I've been doing this true crime thing for quite a while now. And during this whole time, I have not seen one person that is a crime dissector, plug rejector. I'm a certified human lie detector. Gonna get ya on a stretcher if you try and play me like an old projector. Crime sector is my nectar. Professor Gragel's gonna give another lecture. Crime collector, freaking actor. Animal's gonna be a protector, photo flactor, interceptor. And I mean a little smacker with a vector on his pector with all spectrum. Just remember, I have a temper for injection. I have no agenda or a pretender, and also a dance of and in the end, I'm gonna send you on a mission to reveal true offender. Yeah, so I'll just get right back to work. All right, everybody.
Wow, Gray, that was a really interesting show, man. Remember the time when you...
Oh my God, would you just... We're trying to end the show, okay?
I was just saying I thought it was interesting, Gray.
Oh my God. Are you okay, Mary Lou?
Yeah, I'm fine. Good night, everybody.
She did it to me again.
I sure did.
All right. See you guys. Thank you for watching Gray Hughes Investigates, where we put the facts together to theorize accurately. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time on Gray Hughes Investigates. Oh, I love you too, freaks.